Tharp is out to a 10.2 second lead over Emmanuel Cepeda, so things have definitely separated. Cepeda, Jackson Vick, Evan Holt, and Chelsea still inside the top 5. An update on our Moto 1 winner. Where has he fallen to? Well, Hayden Stevenson looks like he has called it a moto. 21st place after winning the first moto. Tough break for him, and it seems that the same approach has been taken by the defending champ Rasmus Balzer. So we have got a 121 and a 319 score on the docket from this one, which, you know, to be honest, they're actually going to end up probably around 10th.
Yeah, what's weird to me, though, is if you're taking this series any kind of way, like, seriously, you're just giving up a couple points. You're already down because of the seeding. Braden Tharp is already leading. Now he's going 2-1, so he's going to win this round, so he's going to be even further. He'll be at 50 points, and everyone else, like, you're just giving it up. I don't know. I think that's the wrong move, and it kind of disappoints me to see them kind of quit. Even if you're in 17th or 16th, like, it can be better. I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
It's my I don't know, man.
Well, Braden Tharp has definitely got this thing all but wrapped up at the front of the field, and Cepeda's even losing a little bit of ground, but still solid in this moto for Emmanuel Cepeda if he is to stay there. I'm not sure how the overalls, aside from Tharp, are going to shake up from this one. In fact, I think borderline Cash Woods might stand. I think he was 4th in the first moto, 5th in this one. He might end up with a pretty good result at the end of this one without even landing on the box in either moto, but just how much it turns the tides between these races.
Cash was kind of just like surviving too. He was out there up front, fell back, kind of up front again, fell back again. So just, but pulled it back up in the 4th. So just him staying strong is going to have him. He'll probably be 2nd overall, honestly, looking at all those names. But Braden Tharp, dominant here, 2nd moto.
Dominant in the 2nd moto, dominant all season long, and it rolls into the playoffs. Braden Tharp wins the opening round of the MX Simulator playoffs, a 2-1 performance here in Charlotte, and a nice nose wheelie to boot at the end. Well, the man of the hour, the man of the day is going to be the championship leader, the #1 seed, and the 450 Pro Motocross champion Seth Carr, who has now taken the white flag out front. He has firmly put this thing in cruise control, 26-second lead, and if this is what we're going to see when he gets a start in the playoffs, look out, because these guys are going to need to shuffle him back early on, maybe take the Levi Kitchen approach once or twice to at least give themselves a shot in the playoffs, because Carr with clean air is a recipe for disaster for everybody else. He has totally proven it in this moto. He can run away with these things, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dangerous person to kind of battle with. You don't want to see the red plate. You don't want to see a very dominant race like this. There's only 5 guys within a minute of him. That's how consistent that he's been. And all of these guys are past championship winners, past race winners. You have just amazing guys riding up here trying to compete with him. And yeah, with these being more kind of outdoor focused, and you see he won the outdoor title by like over 100 points. Seth Carr is a dangerous man. And I think he's really, dude, him and Tharp might just kind of have these things. It's the double and triple points are need to take effect, and people are going to need to really capitalize on those in the next 2 rounds when we see you guys here next week.
Well, the status quo can always change next week, and that's why we're going to be back to watch the racing in St. Louis in 1 week's time. But at least for today, here in Charlotte, it has been all Seth Carr in Moto 2. He's not going to win both motos, but he is going to win the opener. Seth Carr takes the opening round of the playoffs as he wins here in Charlotte. And unlike his teammate Tharp, he goes for the wheelie to celebrate this one. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 2 of the playoffs. That is right. We are live here on Star Your Systems TV. Myself, Kellen Brower, and Andrew Wood in the booth, ready to bring you guys the action. I forgot how tall my cohort Andrew Wood is, and we just made him a little bit shorter on the screen. But yeah, we're here for the playoffs. Round 2 from St. Louis. We saw last week what happened in Charlotte at the drag strip. Not a super eventful night, but we kind of expected that, obviously, with the championship contenders coming in. Now we go double points tonight. We go inside of a stadium, a different racetrack this week, and I think there's some fun stuff to play for here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to tonight, especially with double points. I feel like going into it, yeah, you have the seating, but you can kind of look at it and be like, if I just perform this round and next when it's triple, that's really, I can make up for a bad performance the week before. So really excited for the racing tonight, and hopefully with the different style of track, it'll maybe let some different names get up top.
Yeah, we saw the track, obviously track preview, we showed that off. You've already seen it in the real life SMX race. So what do you think this track gives us in real life? Obviously we saw a little bit of drama, and that kind of provided the punch on the evening, but does this track race potentially a little bit better in sim, you think?
Yeah, I think with sim, it's going to open it up a little bit, maybe one line in real life, but with kind of there's a couple inside-outside like lines to the sand section. There's a little split lane, so we'll have to see how that evens up in game. And then one really tricky rhythm section that I think these guys are going to struggle with. So I think the racetrack's honestly good. Fingers crossed for some good racing. We seem to always get it, and I think the LCQ to lead into the night will kind of show us a little bit about that, how these guys are performing.
Yeah, and if you're with us for the first time, of course, this is a replica version of the real-life SMX playoffs, so round 2, double points formats, and we lead off the evening with the last chance qualifiers or wildcard races. So 2 riders, no matter what, will go through those races. 20 riders have already been seeded into the night's motos that will be run a little bit later on, but we'll start off with the LCQs, and like we said, 2 riders going through in that. But before we even get to the LCQs, we got to talk about qualifying, because these guys are just finishing up qualifying. They only get about an hour of time on this track to learn it, figure it out, and then go to work on it. So far, so good for our 250 champion there. I didn't think it'd go off the page. There we go. 250 champion from Outdoors and in Supercross on the West Coast, Braden Tharp, 116.2 in this 250 class. His teammate, though, Jake Spieth right there, 116.3. A lot of district bikes up here. Top 5 all district bikes, and they're all separated by less than a second. So seems to be a little bit closer this week already.
Yeah, I was wondering why those logos were all the same. They were just all top 5 on one team. But yeah, I think it is weird. It doesn't seem like there should be 1.8 seconds back to 13th place with the way this track kind of is set up. But maybe some separators as you get deeper in the field. But the top of this field looks like they're all going to be pretty close. And I'm hoping that provides us some good racing. I don't think, besides that one big rhythm section, I don't think there's too many separators. So what turned into one line in real life, I think maybe it can just provide us with a little bit more close racing and less opportunity for these guys to have big crashes.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a little bit more action on the racetrack. And again, with the qualifying format, the way it works is basically the top 20 riders from playoff seeding that are actually here make it in. A little bit different than real life SMX. So some of these guys you'll see down here, Cody Branson, Evan Runzeville, and so on and so forth, we're not exactly in the top 20 in seeding per se, but they're already in because some of the guys are not here this evening. So Arnbrister, Person, Christopher Harris, Brandon Nygren, they're all going to the LCQs, and I'm already seeing a big name missing from this list. Defending champion Rasmus Balzer, who didn't finish the second moto last week, if you remember right, is not here this evening. So it looks like he maybe has called it a season, will not contend for the MXS playoff crown, and leaves an opportunity open for even more guys to get in.
Yeah, it's really interesting not to see his name here. I feel like he gave up last week, right? But in his position, I think he was about 12th overall or something in points exiting. And I feel like, honestly, I don't know. I would maybe try to go do it, but maybe he just didn't want to have all the pressure and stress of trying to get through the LCQs and hung it up early. But I mean, if we had the real life SMX money on the line, then maybe he would still be there pushing for points. But bummer to see him go, and that's another heavy hitter that we were expecting to see.
Yeah, but there's still plenty of heavy hitters here at the top of the field. We'll see them in just a minute. In the 450 class, again, your championship leader, defending Pro Motocross champion and race winner last week at Charlotte, Seth Carr, a 1:14.468, goes P1 in qualifying over Supercross champion Colby Eaglin. Frank Jackson, who is right in the mix in this championship, we'll talk about that in a second. He looked strong last week in Charlotte, third in qualifying, Tanner Rogers and Wyatt Grant up there in the mix. So times are close, but Seth Carr is still showing that he has an obvious advantage over the field.
Yeah, 7/10 is insane, especially for a track like this that I feel like should be pretty close. Not too many separators, no whoops, only one rhythm section. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's doing, or if he's just got that much more corner speed or what have you, or if he's kind of found something. But good to see Eagland up there. Frank Jackson stepping up. Used to say he was just a fourth place guy, but man, he's starting to make good work of this. And Wyatt Grant stepping up too a lot recently. Braden Carter, surprising to see him though that far down. Multi-time Supercross champion, really thought that this would be a track that he would shine on.
And you'll see these times still changing ever so slightly. These guys still have literally 1 minute left to put these times in before these servers will close down, and we'll get into the race server in just a minute. But again, we look down the order. Hey, Walter Gebhardt, he's been going to these LCQs. He won it last week, and a 1:15.140. He literally would be third fastest qualifier, but he's having to go through the LCQ again this week. We'll set him up with outside gate pick going into that first moto. Might have to look at him as a player, though, if he has a good start in that first moto, comes back with a vengeance in Moto 2 as well. That time is pretty spicy.
Yeah, I mean, being that close to second or third place, really he would be right up there. It's pretty interesting to see if there's someone, if he can make it through all three rounds. I'd be really intrigued to see where Gebhardt is going to finish up after the double and triple points rounds, if he can really pull something together and challenge. And one bad night when you start multiplying the points, it can be really big for these guys at the front.
Yeah, so that is our qualifying standings. Let's take a look at our playoff standings through round one. Braden Tharp, again, coming off of the outdoor title, seeded number one coming in, and then wins Concord last week. He's already up 13 points in this thing. Jackson Vick, Cash Woods, second and third, technically tied for second. Evan Holt and Ben Nerona all in the mix, but the results were so all over the place last week that it's almost hard to imagine anyone else other than Tharp, just on a consistency level, getting the job done in this championship.
Yeah, I agree, but man, if Braden Tharp has one bad moto and it kind of drops him back a couple spots, maybe he falls off the start and has to put off a fight. If Vic or Woods can get a first place, you can easily cut that gap from 13 to 7 even if Braden Tharp comes up to finish second. So I think we're going to just really have to feel like everyone can kind of still be in this when the points get multiplied. And I mean, I think that's awesome because it doesn't make it easier as you get further into the rounds. You can build a bigger points lead. It actually makes it scarier for these guys because all of your mistakes get magnified. So I think that's something you got to keep an eye out for.
Absolutely. And then over to the 450 class quickly before we get into the server. Seth Carr, again, won the opening round, but Frank Jackson entered as the 2 seed and picked up a third place overall at Concord. So keep that in mind because, again, the point split's doubling up tonight. Jackson could win this thing and get right back into it going into the finale. Braden Carter, pretty good season overall for him coming in as the 6th seed, goes second overall last week in Concord and now sits third in the standings. But I'm a little bit surprised. Rough opening round for Colby Eaglin, Supercross champion. He didn't really do as well outdoors, but could this be an opportunity for him maybe to turn things around tonight in an indoor environment?
Yeah, if he comes out and wins this whole thing tonight and really cuts that gap down between some of these guys ahead of him, I think you really gotta see maybe he can keep turning it around in the round 3 and the final. So yeah, this top 5 and 6, I feel like you can't count them out. We're gonna have to remember those names: Jackson, Carter, Lang, Shirley, and Eaglin, and kind of look for those guys, see if any one of them can dethrone Carr. And I think this is going to be really tight heading into the third round. I don't really expect Carr, even looking at qualifying, to be super dominant here tonight. So we're going to have to see how that works out.
Yeah, and of course, defending champion Luke Sullivan, very rough opening round, only able to muster a 14th place result, 13th in the standings after 1 week, but still has the chances to turn it around. Want to answer a quick question in chat from Moto Bacon. Is that the Jackson Vick, Logan Leitzel, and Wyatt Grant? Yes, it is. They are all the real life, not pros, because Jackson Vick, of course, and Wyatt Grant still both amateur motocross racers, but Logan Leitzel, real life pro, finished P9 at Foxborough earlier this year in the 450 class. So cool little shout outs to them. All right, let's talk about this racetrack real quick. Here's a bird's eye view of it up above here in St. Louis. We already kind of previewed it just a little bit at the start of the show, but a lot of cool little intricate details of this racetrack. We saw how it raced in real life. Now, the question I have for you, A Wood, is it seemed like the only passing opportunities were maybe the split lane lane, or if you could get the sand right. Is that going to be the same thing in sim, or is something else going to open up here for these guys?
Yeah, I think the split lane is going to be curious to see if they're kind of being used. Sometimes in this, we see them be even. Sometimes you see them heavily favored. I think the big rhythm section into the sand is going to be is 90% of the track for me. Maybe the off camber section with how you hit that rut if guys are struggling with that. But this rhythm section, Brendan Kennedy also asked in chat, like, I think that looking at the 250s and 450s, different lines there, are the 250s going to be able to triple on every time to the tabletop? Are they going to be able to get the quad out that I feel like is going to be heavily favored for the 450s? And then what are they doing in the sand, the inside versus the outside? Maybe a triple single, but then you're kind of doubling into the inside of the sand, or quadding and railing the outside. If they can quad to the inside, that throws everything out of the window. So I think really looking at that first big rhythm section with the red bales and the white sand section is what I'm going to be looking forward to most in these first races and seeing how it develops.
Well, we'll have to give a keen eye to it in these last chance qualifiers coming up as we now jump back into the server. I want to make sure that we get our game capture set up correctly for you guys to be able to see all of the fun as well. And we're going to roll into the 250 last chance qualifier coming up here in just a minute. I think we actually maybe time this up absolutely perfectly, as I think we just got a restart in the server. So excited to see how this goes down. This is going to be a 5-minute plus 1 lap race. Top 2 riders make it through. So even a little bit more on the line than we see in real life racing, especially with the SMX stuff. Way more wide open with how many guys get in. Only 2 guys will go through here. So really excited to see how this all shakes down. And honestly, I think we're going to have some of the best racing of the night, maybe to start our broadcast here with these LCQs.
Always. That's why we love Triple Crown so much, and we get the same energy when we come into these SMX races and get to see the LCQs, the wild card races instantly right off the gate, see how the track works out, see people fighting for their lives just to get into the night show. Bummer we don't get to see Balzer, the 451 though. We got to see if Gebhardt can make it happen. That's going to be a huge either bonus for him to get in or a big letdown, but really excited for the racing here. And man, everyone always asks, is that the Logan Leitzel? No one ever asks, is that the Kellen Brower? Kellen Brower, the Swap
cares.
Moto, the fraud?
The fraud.
The LVK producer? LVK star, actually. Blair Mathis Project producer?
Oh, I'm everywhere.
YouTube extraordinaire. You got more jobs than Weege and JT. You're going to be, we got to get you up there and start counting how many jobs you have compared to all these guys in the media.
Well, let's quickly take you through who's lining up for this LCQ going off in just a moment. Jared Gummison, Steven Short, Jay-Z, a.k.a. Jacob Arnbrister, Brett Powers, J.R. Reyes, Christopher Harris, Darius Peterson, Tyler Perez, Brandon Nygren, Logan Mortberg, Jace Williams, Will Now, Caden Wharton. What else we got? We got Liam Rowella, Seth Devers. We already said J.R. Reyes, Jake Kazarian. Man, there's a ton of guys. Joshua Crummett also up in here. It is go time here for round 2 of the playoffs, and we started off with some fantastic racing brought to you by MXS Battlegrounds. So head over to MXS Battlegrounds today and check out the racing series that they offer. Here we go, playoff 2. Let's get it in the 250 LCQ. It's a drag race into turn number 1. We were looking at Steven Short, and he's going to try to get the whole shot, but I think he's going to get beat up the inside. Timmy Briscoe gets there first, so it's Briscoe out front into second place with a hard block pass. That was actually a pass done by Christopher Harris, and he put the riders down behind him in a big pileup, so it's opened up the gaps a little bit. Short was still able to get by in the 2 spot, but things already kicking off.
Yeah, Harris sent Gummison down, but look at this. Short gets by into second. Briscoe trying to lead the pack away, and man, you saw about 10 guys go down on the start right there. That is not what you want when there's 20 guys on the line and only 2 are getting in. Feels like your night's cut short, but they can't give up because this 250 class is wild. But right now, these 2 trying to separate themselves is a move right there. Harris puts, who was that again? Seth Devers, who everyone in chat wanted, puts him into the bales early. Christopher Harris is trying to move forward, and he's going to do anything that he can to get up there.
We got the stock bike warriors up in here. I don't have their kits tonight, unfortunately, but they're out here making a name for themselves and battling for these positions as we go into the tunnel first lap through. Again, a 5-minute plus 1 lap race. We'll keep you guys updated on the time as it comes through. Steven Short is all over Timmy Briscoe for the lead, and he might try to get into him as he goes down on his rear tire and then gets up and gets hit from behind. He's able to get going. That puts someone else on the deck, but Christopher Harris now up into the 2 spot, maybe a bit overzealous right there, trying to get into the race lead.
Yeah, Christopher Harris, though, he's been showing to make some block passes, and look at this, runs it up the inside, is going to get given the pass right there, doubling in. So these guys are going double, quad, just trying to look at this, double, quad, triple, double, but no, Christopher Harris is going to triple all the way into the inside, blows it a little bit. This guy is making moves out here on the Skibbity 2 broken wrist machine out here. If he's got 2 broken wrists, he's out here putting other guys in the bales trying to break their wrists also, but right now he's got the lead and he's in the driver's seat.
Yeah, we knew these LCQs would be chaotic, but we didn't expect the attacks to be as frantic and as early on as they are out of Christopher Harris, but he goes to the race lead now over Timmy Briscoe. Caden Kepke is up into the 3 spot after all that chaos, the EVP Yamaha program. Nice ride for him, and he's going to try to tail into that lead double up there. Tyler Perez now 4th, and Steven Short now back into the 5 spot, rounding out your top 5 as the lead group is starting to get away a little bit. These two, they could work together at the front here. Harris getting away a little bit from Briscoe, and I feel like if you're Briscoe, your best case scenario here is just to try to latch onto him and get away and not let Caden Kepke get into the mix.
Yeah, Briscoe got a little bit too close for comfort in that split section. Really was kind of worried about it. He looked like he was right up on the rear wheel, but as they separate a little bit, it is going to be good for both of them. They're got a 3-second gap back from 2nd to 3rd. And I'm trying to keep an eye on is Brandon Nygren in 5th, making some moves, but he is 11 seconds back. I was just kind of going through timing and scoring and looking at the names that are moving up. Will now got a bad start, and he's moving his way up. J.R. Reyes must have been down early, and he's kind of a name I expected to be up here. He's up into 13th, but honestly, that 18-second gap he's got might be too much, but I'd like to keep an eye on these guys who maybe, not saying they're the fastest guys out here, but kind of the names that you see and the ones you see working their way up, Kellen.
Yeah, and the problem that these guys have is the gap is already pretty substantial, and they're going to have to really work fast to make these moves and get up into a position because we only have 1.5 minutes left on the clock before that time expires, and then the white flag will wave. So if you're Nygren here, you maybe only have 3 more laps to try to get up there and make something happen. He's working with Jared Gummison to move forward. The lead riders up front, Harris and Briscoe, have kind of broken away from Tyler Perez. So if these two can get to Perez at least, give them a shot from 3rd in case chaos reigns out front, they could have a shot to get in. And there it is, Perez down, and Gummison hits him. So up into 3rd place, just like that goes Brandon Nygren. He's the first man out looking in, and look at how big that gap already is. You can't even see the guys going off screen.
Yeah, the gap is huge. For me, anyone behind Brandon Nygren right now on the screen, it's basically get to 3rd and pray. 10-second gap right now you see from the leader to 3rd place. Briscoe falling back just a little bit, but I was looking at the timing splits. Will now was 18 seconds back, got it down to 15th and then back to 16th just to see if these guys have the speed to pull in that lead pack, and you can tell with their splits if they keep it on 2 wheels, but I don't think it's going to be enough, but putting yourself in the best position, hoping that one of them goes down. But this track, it feels like it's almost really easy. A lot of people are saying the track's really fun, but I think that's the problem is the track might be a little bit easy to ride. You're not going to see them going down as much on their own regard, and you're going to really need start position, and you got to pray for a little bit more speed instead of people actually falling.
Yeah, and look, we saw that in real life on the St. Louis SMX track where if you got a bad start, it was really hard to make up time, and if the fast guys started up front, it was also very easy for them to kind of sneak away a little bit. So it's going to come down to that start, and the motos coming up in just a minute. But if you're Nygren here, you got Gummison still right on your rear fender. You're just hoping, I guess, against all hope, that something happens to our 2 leaders. Briscoe going under the tunnel just ahead of these guys still has got it pretty well under wraps in 2nd. And Christopher Harris, who's taken the white flag out front, has absolutely ran away with this thing. Consistent laps out front and showing why he deserves to be in these motos.
Yeah, Nygren, the fastest man on the track that lap around, as Briscoe dropped back 2 seconds into the clutches of Nygren, but he's pretty much on pace with Harris. So honestly, this one feels like it's all she wrote. I think we just got to stay on these top 2, see if one of them goes down here. Kellen, this track kind of reminds me of what you would call like a local cross track in sim from the years that we've played, where it's just kind of like a fun track, like Milestone or something with tabletops that's easy and flowy. Harris just pushing the front end a little bit, but where, yeah, there's not too much besides that one rhythm section. You just kind of get out there and cruise. It's just, can you push your corners maybe a little bit faster? But there's not too much separation, not too much going to knock you down. And that's what this track felt like, I guess, in real life as well. And here tonight, watching these guys so far, at least in this first race.
Yeah, it does make me wonder when we get into the motos how aggressive some guys will be early in the race, like we saw in real life as well. Try to make those quick passes and move forward because you do not want to be stuck back in the field having to deal with the chaos. But at least in these last chance qualifiers, so far it is all good for the race leaders. And in this case, Christopher Harris fights his way to the front. He will win the 250 LCQ. He's headed through to the motos here tonight in St. Louis. And Timmy Briscoe, steady as he goes, gets across the line in second place, rolls over that finish line jump, and he too will be going to the motos. Nygren misses out. Jared Gummison also going home a bit early tonight. Steven Short, who is up there. There's Will now. Tyler Perez. Some of these guys we unfortunately didn't even see. Seth Devers got put down early in the race. Josh Crummett of the Phoenix Designs, misspelled Phoenix. Caden Wharton. I mean, I'm just calling it as I see it.
Okay.
But Caden Wharton back here. Brett Powers, Donut MX, not a good showing for him. Unfortunately, he's going home as well. Liam Roella, always making sick graphics
Is his
and
name
kits and
misspelled?
everything like that. But what's that?
Is his name misspelled? Is it 2 L's?
Yeah, it's Lilium.
That's crazy.
He makes absolutely insane renders, by the way. Renders, screenshots. If you ever want some good stuff done, ask him because they're money.
Jay-Z was in last for the longest time, so really just glad to see him not in last.
Is he?
His name was 20th on the scrolling across for a while. Maybe second to last to finish, so maybe everyone put Morford quit. So maybe not the best thing. But Peterson's out here too, on the fecal matter machine. The One Industries, No Fear looking. They've got so much going on. There's 2 gear brands kind of represented, but
quite the kits for sure.
Quite the kits.
Penalties in. We'll see if anything changed up front. Harris
it
goes
got close.
Briscoe, yeah, it was a little bit closer, 3.3 seconds, but still Harris and Briscoe going through. So our 250 LCQs are done. Coming up next, our 450 last chance qualifier. Let's take you guys through who is going to the line in these ones. Nicholas Langstrup, Reno Brennan, Anthony Pachone, William St. Laurent, Caden Pankow, Joseph Pilsner, Carl Novak, Caleb Hall, Ryder Bednar, Noah Bindis, Xander Brion. We got Vivian DeBear, Zach Fisher, Damian Evans, Tyler Valentine, Walter Gebhardt, Tyler Moore, Aaron Rockefeller, Tommy Delaire, Brandon Larson, and Hunter Ash. If your favorite racer or buddy is on the track for this one, cheer them on as they go racing for this last chance qualifier. Coming up, seems like it's going to be Walter Gebhardt P1, but P2 could get pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to that start, though. That first one scared me, the 250 class, having like 10 or 12 guys go down in the first, the start straight and the first corner. It pinches off a lot from the inside. So if I'm putting a gate pick, if I'm fastest qualifier, I'm probably picking gate 6, 7, or 8 here. I mean, look at how far right you have to go. But the problem is you do pick one of those gates, you don't get a good jump, you can get pinched off, and you got guys coming both directions across your front end. So really tricky here. It's going to be seeing Gebhardt start. One thing that always kind of sucks for us is people change their gear so much. Like, you know, in real life, you look at the start, you can be sitting in the nosebleeds and you can kind of tell who went down or whatever. I feel like that's always so hard to see in sim. Just whether it's reading the numbers or whatever, like the resolution we can get on the screen or the zoom of the cameras. But I really wish in those pileups we can kind of pick out names, you know, unless you see a red plate flipping, it's kind of hard to tell because people switch their gear between motos and teams and all that stuff. So just a thought I had.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that as well. But I mean, also another thing is that the teams all stay so much the same that you kind of get used to what the graphics look like. And for the most part, I think we can get there by the end of the playoffs. But a 3-round championship, definitely tough to keep an eye on everyone and make sure that we have got it all dialed. All right, time for the 450 last chance qualifier here in St. Louis. The same story here. 2 riders go through. Everybody else headed home. It's time to drop the gate. 450 LCQ. Let's go.
Ooh, someone hit the gate.
Off the start, a couple guys actually to the outside. Bad jumps, and it's getting close going to the first corner. A lot of guys pushed out wide and went down. Caden Pankow sneaks up the inside, and then he slept as well. Probably got a good night's sleep before this and gets into the race lead. Caleb Hall up into second place, quadding into the sand on lap 1, and he is in a good position as well. Chaos reigning supreme, though, behind these guys. Tyler Moore up into third. 2 riders already out front with some clean air.
Yeah, Pankow must have slept in the Quality and Express last night with the way that he got off the gate right there. Caleb Hall, though, look at these just little different lines you see tripling into the outside right there. Oh, Caleb Hall, wild ride, gets a little whiskey throttle. Bad spot to fall. Can he get up? Wow, over the wall. I would have looped out. But Caleb Hall only lost 1 spot right there. And once again, Kellen, off the start, 6 or 7 guys down, and most of them coming from the inside, having to kind of swing their way right into that first turn, just causing some carnage. I never understood why the inside gate is not always a straight line to the first turn, but thanks to Dirt Jerks for that one. I'll have you send a complaint in the privateer group chat later on with that. Hopefully that can get resolved next year, but probably not, as Tyler Moore moves into P2, but he's got guys hot on his heels.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot more exciting by the looks of it than what we saw in that 250 LCQ. Timor is up here fighting for his life as Caleb Hall and Xander Brion are right there. And remember, Brion, one of the 2 guys that went through the LCQ last week along with Walter Gebhardt, really good showing last week in Charlotte as well. So he certainly wants to make it through no problem. And speaking of Walter Gebhardt, with that really fast qualifying time, he is 14th place, so he's got some work to do. As over top goes Caleb Hall. Tyler Moore gets back to the inside, shuts the door. Hall comes back across, and they hit each other, and Brion jumps through the middle to get them both. So Brion, just like that, jumps up into second place. Timor gets back on the track in third, but Caleb Hall failed attempt right there.
I can't believe Hayden Deegan would steal Caleb Hall's reg key like that, but he did. Early moves right there, slamming way up the inside, just didn't have the pass made and loses the spot. Brion with a little bit of bike hump. I think he's excited to be up here up front, chasing down Pankow, moving into that P2 spot. Tyler Moore, though, still got Caleb Hall hot on his heels right there. This is going to be a tight battle, and yeah, Gebhardt is way far back, Kellen, but we got a hot race at the front as Caleb Hall gets a little too close, jumps into the back of him and goes down. Let's see if any riders run into him. No, they get by cleanly.
Yeah, bad spot to go down there for Hall. So now that's 1 mistake and a crash, probably writing off his chances to make it through at this point in time. Timor still up in third. Brion getting away now in second. How about Caden Pankow, though? The Dr. Do Racing, number 228 out front, just laying it down, getting away from the field right here. Obviously some talents underneath that machine, but I'm impressed that he's been consistent because all the chaos going on behind him, he has just left these guys in the dust.
Yeah, it feels like he's even doing better than we saw in the last race from getting that good start and taking advantage of your good track position in a short race where only a couple guys go through. He's in the driver's seat, and he's looking great out front. I like his lines, too. He's just going triple and then doubling into the sand, going to the outside, which seems a little bit smoother. I'm interested to see how the track breaks down. We'll probably break into that more once we get to the longer races. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Pankow up front. Just nice and smooth and steady. 9 seconds out front, but the battle for second is getting tight with Langstrip right all over the heels of Tyler Moore.
Yeah, we lost Brion from the 2 spots, so the 7.62 Cowie back into 4th, and suddenly the fight for second is a good one. Tyler Moore versus Nicholas Langstrip, and they're hung up in the corner together. I think Timor even gave a little extra brake tap right there to make sure that Langstrip got held up. Now Langstrip going in and out of the tunnel sideways allows Brion by, and Timor's got himself a gap, but I think that gap is not safe at all with a minute left on the clock. These guys are cooking.
No, sir. These guys definitely have some speed. They're trying to move their way forward, and you can tell because it's not who's on the Cowie right there?
That's Brion.
Jesus,
Brion Langstrip over the bars.
Was up there. Langstrip tried to scrub too hard, but yeah, fell back, 1 mistake. But man, he's definitely got the speed to work his way forward again. Let's see if he can tighten this gap up. 2 laps left, most likely, for these guys. So see what they're doing, how tight Brion can get this thing done. But these 450 guys, I don't know if it's the slightly higher speeds and bigger lines that they're trying to do, but they seem to be having more trouble with the track than the 250 class does, as another rider, Joseph Pilsner, just slid out.
No, I think it was B-Lars, your buddy back there.
B-Lars, RIP, slid out, and he's done. He's cooked. Yeah, trying to get back up.
Getting up there with Caleb Hall. Look at that. Turned on a dime left and nickel change. Dualies over the double as well as they rub number plates into the corner right there. Let's go back up to the fight for second and see if it's getting any closer. Brion is trying to get there. Let's go on board with him, give you guys a bird's eye view of what it looks like in this chase cam. 1:25.5 last time by. It is down to under, or at that 2-second mark, I should say. And the white flag is coming out this time by. Pankow out front is about to take it. Brion on his horse right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at those lap times. So he has 7 seconds potentially faster than that last one. And I think 2 seconds faster than Tyler Moore's fastest lap in front of him. If he can drop a 1:18, he can pull in this gap just like that. 1.4 seconds, and he's only 2 seconds. No, that what time? 1.3 seconds slower. So man, perfectly. If they run the same laps they did last time, these guys will be neck and neck at the finish line. See if any of them pulls out something big. They got to nail this tricky rhythm section. That quad out is so hard, Kellen. They both do it. He's right on his rear tire after that.
Here we go. He's going to try to maybe go inside here. No, backs out of the challenge. Timur reading it brilliantly, cuts the line off, and Brion has to stand it up, almost getting into his back tire. So here we go. Half a lap to go. Brion looking inside in the rollers. Not close enough as Timur cuts back across and holds the line over the wall jump. Brion to the outside. Timur blocking the inside. Comes to a stop and puts Brion down to hold on to the position. Read him like a book and stops just enough so that Brion hits his rear tire, and Timur is safe in second.
That was such good defensive riding there.
But
Tyler Moore
goes down. He's backwards on the track, and here comes Joseph Pilsner to try to take the position. Pankow out front's about to win this race, but this is where the action is on it right now. Pilsner cuts back across. We're going to go into the tunnel nearly side by side with Brion, still hanging tough trying to get in there. One more turn to go out of this. Who's going to get the line down the inside? Timur is going to try to ride defensively. He cuts across. He's trying to block. Everyone's slowing down. 3 guys coming into the corner together. Timur cuts across. Gets into them both. Pilsner ran wide. Look at Caleb Hall trying to triple. Timur goes into the main motos by 0.2 of a second. Unbelievable finish, and he holds the position.
Holy cow, it's always the best racing of the night, and what an unbelievable finish. If you thought this track was not going to bring good racing, I don't know what happened. That was insane. Only 0.2, man. If Caleb Hall somehow gets this after, I don't know, he had a lot of off-track excursions, so maybe he's the wrong guy to try to capitalize there, but a second, almost the fastest lap of the race right there at the end. What a crazy, crazy ride right there. Holy cow, Kellen, that was insane. We had 3-4 wide in the last corner. Honestly, Tyler Moore, that was an unbelievable clinic of defensive riding. I'm kind of bummed that front end lock is a thing because Brion should not have gone down from that. I wish he somehow could have just got stood up for a second, kept going. Bummer he had to fall off the bike. Wow, what an insane last lap. That was awesome.
Here come the penalties, and it switches by 0.3 of a second. They give it to Caleb Hall on penalties. Unbelievable. Timur had 0.51? I can't even see that, but he had like point something of cuts, which is basically a system where if you go off the track and gain time, it gives you a slight penalty at the end of the race, and he loses it by 0.3. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he was up by 0.2, so it's gotta be he had half a second there. That's insane. Yeah, 0.51 it looks like from here. Holy cow, Caleb Hall, after all that, what an eventful race. Tyler Moore fighting for his absolute life right there and still missing out. Get some freaking W's in the chat.
That was insane. That was a good race. And now we are definitely revved up for the main motos coming up here in just a moment. So take you guys through who's going to the gate here for this one in just a second, but we want to get our graphic up here on screen first to make sure that you guys are aware what moto is also lining up as 250 Moto 1 heads to the gate. A 20-minute plus 1 lap race about to hit the track, and you guys will not want to miss the first race of the night for our second round of the playoffs. Let's take you guys, of course, through who is going to the gate in this one. Cash Woods, Christopher Harris out of the LCQ, Cody Branson, Evan Holt, Hayden Stevenson, Lumi, Killian Ortiz, Ryan Chelsea, Emmanuel Cepeda, Ben Nerona, Logan Leitzel, Jax Lindsay, Dylan Dallaire, Evan Vanderkoy, Timmy Briscoe, Cody Wells, Braden Tharp, Tyler Show, Jackson Vick, Jake Spieth, Antonio Vellotti, and Tom Quinault make up the 22 riders going to the gate for playoff race 2 here in the 250 class. Boy, oh boy, LCQs are fun, man. They are so fun.
Yeah, best race of the night. We've always said, as Kellen's leaving for 1 second, I almost just choked and died right there. Kellen's grabbing his water, so he doesn't do the same. We have 80 more minutes plus 4 laps of racing here tonight for you as we get the big boys to the gate. I am curious as to what's going to happen off the starts if these guys have a little bit more brains in there connecting to their thumbs to not go down off the start right there. But I really, really, really dislike, like, there's a straight line from gate 22 to the first corner. But gate 1 that you're supposed to reward for being on the inside does not. Like, you could literally turn the start gate like 12 degrees and have a straight line for gate 1 and then have gate 22, who should be penalized for sucking, get pinched off. I don't know, dude. It is absolutely unbelievable. Look at that. I don't get it.
I don't know, man.
It's poor track design. I don't know, man.
Sorry.
It's okay. Track maps, we got to go by them. Cash Woods has been hot lately. I'm looking for him to step up here. He's been really good.
Needs a start. The starts were not there last week.
No sirree. And we got to keep an eye out for Braden Tharp off the start. Let's see where he goes. If I'm him, I'm going gate 11. I'm going inside the box, or gate 12 just outside the box. If you have any faith in your starting abilities, you're going to put yourself in the middle, give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, and I would be shocked to see a red plate not closer towards the box.
Well, let's see where that start comes from. And, of course, who comes out with our big hole shot to kick off the night. It is 20 minutes plus 1 lap, and it is time to go racing for round 2 of the playoffs. 30 Cardis sideways, revs are up. Here we go for 250 moto number 1. And it looks like it's coming from the middle. Maybe Logan Leitzel on the 3 gets there first. He does. Does he control it? Yes, by a nose. It's Leitzel over Timmy Briscoe out of the LCQ. Leitzel out front. Jax Lindsay in second. Where's our championship leader? Looks like Tharp in third off the gate of this one.
Yeah, Tharp was at about gate 3. Oh, huge crash in the rhythm section. A lot of guys down, but not the leaders right there. 3-4 people survive. Logan Leitzel leading them around. And then, Tharp trying to make a move right there on Jax Lindsay. Cash Woods got into him, too.
Tharp is down on top of the double takeoff right there. I believe one of the riders was down. Yes, Tharp, our championship leader, is down, and he's still getting hit as he's trying to go. He's in a terrible spot right there. The chaos of the first lap reigning supreme, and Tharp falls from in 3rd place all the way down the order. I think he is in 18th place now as it runs.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the speed to move his way up, and with the way that riders have been going on this track, maybe there's going to be enough carnage to get up there, and he's got enough time, but that's not where he wants to be. And if I'm one of the outside guys looking in who's kind of in the points, Cash Woods especially, I'm trying to capitalize this and stay up, but he actually got into it when they got together all right there, those 3 riders behind Logan Leitzel. So bummer for Cash Woods not being able to get through, but Logan Leitzel throwing the whip too hard, getting kicked and doing a barrel roll and going down out of the lead. So that moves Jax Lindsay all alone out front.
Yeah, Lindsay takes over the race lead. Leitzel over the bars and gone as Timmy Briscoe moves into second. Cody Branson third, and then a great battle for fourth. Christopher Harris is up here, and our 2 LCQ guys are actually second and fourth in this race, so maybe extra track time right before the gates dropped really coming into play right here. Harris about to get passed up the inside. Maybe a twofer is down the inside. Tom Quinault gets blocked past by Cash Woods. Harris cuts back up underneath. I don't know how all those guys stayed up, but the fight is still on as Woods trying to go outside to get a run on Christopher Harris. Quinault back up the inside taking a look, and off the wall jump we come. Who's going to get that drive? It's still Harris in the 4 spot here.
Yeah, I really like that sweeper that with the brown dirt where everyone kind of, some guys go outside in, inside out. It's so much more open than the sand section where everyone's kind of funneling. And I think it's really cool watching these guys when they're in close battles right here. Christopher Harris, though, absolutely crushing it straight out of the LCQ, still holding on ahead of Cash Woods, trying to make a pass here on Cody Branson as he tries to work his way up, but look how tight this pack is getting right now. Everyone is so close, so it's those small mistakes you need to capitalize on, but then also I think there's 1 or 2 spots that each guy kind of knows they have a little bit better of a line. And yeah, I'm wondering if the extra track time wasn't even that, but also going through one hectic start, learning what works, and the other guys didn't.
Yeah, I mean, these guys just being able to see how that gate into the turn number 1 works. Where is the stopping point is Briscoe is down in second place just as I say that, and everyone's jumping over him. Another crash in the background right there. So that opens it up even more for Jax Lindsay, who's now 5 seconds out front of Cody Branson. Christopher Harris was off the track for a second, comes back on. He's in this heated fight for third. Cash Woods, Tom Quinault, Evan Holt, all still right there. Harris goes off the track, and there goes the entire train pretty much. Cash Woods up onto a podium spot, Quinault to fourth, and look at that. They're right on Branson, just up the road now, trying to move into second place. Lindsay still leads, but it is everything to play for from second on back.
Yeah, this is a crazy kind of turn of events right here. Cash Woods making the most of it, but I think Christopher Harris, just got too excited. I've seen nerves, and I've seen exactly the way he's riding right there as Quinault behind him kind of misses his braking point, puts his rear wheel over, and then washes the front as he goes down right there.
Cody Branson is invisible for some reason. I don't know why, but he was down in second.
Lagged and went down as Quinault went down. Then who's that again? That's a 112 machine?
Christopher Harris down again.
Man, he is all over the place right now. You got to take a deep breath, brother.
Yeah, try to reset and get your mind back into the game here a little bit. But look at this, man. Jax Lindsay out front, going for the quad into the sand and gets it. 1:18.3 last time by. Fastest rider on the track. Insane effort. And Braden Tharp still is only in 16th place. So Tharp not really making too many inroads. Terrible time for Tharp to go down because this track looks absolutely brutal to try to make time up on. And he's got a lot of work still to do. Fortunately, though, 20 minutes plus a lap, plenty of time to try to get it done.
Yeah, Tharp in 16th, crazy way back there. What is happening? Cash Woods all over the place. It's also really, Cash Woods has like a sneaky line coming out of the sand. He's been making a lot of moves before that double, so I'll keep an eye on that as he gets closer to Holtzy. But someone else ran the fastest lap that's not in the top 16. Not sure who that is. Is Logan Leitzel got that speed? Emmanuel Cepeda dropped fastest lap of the race way back there. But this 250 class, these guys are all over the place. The 450 LCQ was all over the place, but these guys, once we got into the top 20, it was pretty chill for the LCQ, but now these guys are going crazy. Cash Woods, though, making huge gains back on Holtzy as a small mistake from him, but he's trying to keep it together. But, man, our leader, Kellen, how surprised are you by Jax Lindsay of what he's doing?
It's impressive to say the least as he resets fastest lap of the race, 1:18.218 out front out of Jax Lindsay, the Phil Ski and Snowboard Suzuki machine, pulling away and laying claim to this first moto, at least so far. We can see a lot of chaos happening in the background, and when he gets to the lap traffic, that could be problems for him as well, but so far it's clean sailing. Of course, Holtzy still second, Cash Woods third. Antonio Velati has moved up into the fourth spot in a fight with Cody Branson still. Branson tucks the front end in the sand, goes down. Briscoe goes by, as does the 239 of Cody Wells, Tom Quinault, Ben Nerona, and then Tharp. So there's our championship leader finally into the top 10. He's now 9th. Actually, 8th as another rider was down, and more chaos still going on in front of that. I mean, I just saw 4 more guys go down in the background. So Tharp able to avoid some of the damage, and he also just ran fastest lap of the race. So he's starting to get the wheels turning a little bit.
Yeah, he's kind of maybe figured it out. I think a lot of times guys of his caliber, we see that sand section, the outside, really building up. And as he's trying to make some moves here, unable to get it by yet, but I think as the ruts get bigger, Braden Tharp just has so much skill of where he can place his bike. He's going to be able to start hitting this corner even faster with this rut here coming into the sand. I think the braking bumps get bigger, but the rut, it's more of like a wall you can just kind of lay over into. And I think he's kind of using that to speed up, and the sand section outside is one. I think the 450 class, you're going to see that even more so with just the skill and the speed that those guys have. But Braden Tharp, I can see him start knocking some people off. How many seconds is he back of the lead right now?
25 off.
25 and 10 seconds back is the second place. Honestly, would not be surprised if he gets up into second by the end of this thing. We're only 7 minutes into a 20-minute plus 1 lap race, and there's another position as he gets takes advantage of a mistake, leaving that big rhythm section.
Yeah, that was Cody Wells that made a mistake, and I was going to mention one thing I'm seeing here with these guys is just how difficult it is to make a pass actually stick, because the lines are wearing in where everyone wants to go outside and hit that main line, and Tharp was kind of stuck behind Wells. In fact, so much so he lost ground that last time by to Ben Nerona and Tom Quinault ahead of him. So I wonder now with clean air if we start seeing the lap times come back down again, as Nerona and Quinault going to battle just ahead of him now for a spot inside of the top 5. So those two are linked together. Antonio Velati and Cash Woods just up the road of that. Also pretty nose to tail for 3rd and 4th. And then Evan Holt has ran away. He is in 2nd place all by himself, running good lap times, 1:18.1. But another new fastest stop of the race, 117.4. Jax Lindsay on his horse here in St. Louis, looking comfortable out front.
Yeah, so before he set that lap time, which is about 0.8 faster than what I can see on the screen, 0.7 right there, they were all kind of the top three of Holt and Woods were all in that 118 low to mid range. So I was thinking if Lindsay goes down, he might not have the speed really to run away and maybe the nerves will get to him. But I think the fact that he's keeping it on two wheels and now showing us, no, he just does have the raw speed. He's focusing on hitting his marks, hitting his lines, and now he's just trying to pull away because that 10-second gap is never safe in sim. You have a fall off, it can be 8 to 10, sometimes even 12 seconds, depending on where you're at behind the berm. And he's trying to pull that thing out. With the other mistakes, 19-second gap over Holt. So, and actually, look like we got a battle for second now, Kellen, as I think Holt went down and Woods is right on him.
Oh, yeah. So Holtzy went down, and we got almost 20 seconds back to P2 right now. But this is a terrific fight starting to build together here between three riders. Evan Holt is the lead rider on the 13, and Cash Woods on the 79, and Antonio Velati on the 175 there in the background is in fourth. So these three riders starting to work together a little bit. And then even back of that, the battle for fifth still good. Nerona has now Tharp splitting he and Quinault. Quinault has drifted back into the 7 spot. So Tharp back on the grind again. Lays down a 117.6. Still not the fastest lap of the race to match what we saw out of Jax Lindsay out front. But you could be right. Tharp still could be on for P2 in this race here.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything's possible, Kellen, especially when you have as much speed as Braden Tharp. He's got the red plate for a reason. Was that a lapper?
That was Velati that was down in fourth, so he's already up into fourth place with that pass. Now it's third as Holtzy was down. Nerona almost gets into his teammate Tharp, who's going to jump off the track right here, gets back on just as Quinault jumps in and takes him out. Absolutely destroys Braden Tharp, does Tom Quinault. I don't think that Tharp even thought that was coming from the fast Frenchman on the 84.
Yeah, what's weird is we see these teammates three wide over the wall. I was talking about that before. So many people go so far inside out, outside in. There's a lot of crossing up, and it's made that section interesting. But that was a straight attack right there. And he went through. Kellen, he came in so fast, so hard, cleaned his front wheel out, put him on the ground, and rode away like a madman. The Frenchie just came out of absolute nowhere, and that was a straight targeted attack right there. If I'm Braden Tharp, that's going to ruffle my feathers a little bit. Luckily, I got a million teammates there. Another pass on Velati as he's down again, and Braden Tharp trying to work his way back up. Let's see. He's got a couple seconds, though. 5 seconds to Nerona and 7 to Quinault, so going to be a while till he sees anyone unless they make some mistakes. So I think we're just going to try to lay down some heaters here.
Oh, speaking of mistakes, he's down and he's taking his teammate with him right there as over top goes Evan Holt and he goes down. That's Velati again going down. I can't believe Velati's luck. He just keeps landing on these guys. Cody Wells went through. Jackson Vick, remember, who's second in the championship, is now back in front of the 23 machine of Tharp. So this is good news for him that all the mistakes have come to light. You have Emmanuel Cepeda also moving forward, and Dylan Delaire, who actually entered high in the seeding but was not in a factor for the race last week in Concord. So good to see him back in the mix as he jumps off the track, loses a position to Cepeda. But more and more faces starting to get into the fray because of the mistakes out of Tharp. Obviously, this is benefiting Jax Lindsay more than anybody, but I cannot believe how badly this has gone for Tharp in this first moto of the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, Tharp dropped all the way back to 10th with that little pirouette. His teammate Cepeda really capitalized, moved up into 5th, but when he did that mistake, not only did both of his teammates that were behind him hit him, also Velati somehow. So, man, just a really bad spot. Tharp is having a wild ride here, but the thing is, Kellen, we got Olympic scoring here, so if he can get a 5th and then come out and win those 6 points, it's kind of, you got to think of it like a triple crown. Those 6 points, you got to have, there's only a couple guys who can beat that. So I say here, he's just got to try to get into a top 5, take some deep breaths, go out there, win the second one, and then with the double points, you're not losing too much. There's only a couple opportunities for guys to be up inside of you in points, and you got to look at the people that are trying to pass him in points. Cash Woods is the only one that I can kind of think of that was really close. Do you know any of the other names who maybe were maybe
Jackson
right there?
Vick, who was second coming into this, just went down at the end of the rhythm section, and Tharp was able to get by him. That was that Cowie that we saw just off screen right there. So he loses a couple spots, goes back to 11th. Meanwhile, Tharp is working hard on Cody Wells to try to get around him and get into 7th. So I think you're right, though. Deep breath. Obviously, not an ideal situation here with only 7 minutes left on the clock still to run. He's got a short amount of time to try to get back into position here, but you don't want to make this worse. You don't want to go down again and lose even more positions because there's still a lot of fast guys in the mix right here, as a mistake from Cody Wells is going to allow Tharp to go up into 7th place. But another mistake, he's losing 5 or 6 more spots because that's how close it still is.
Yeah, I agree. There's too many riders too close to him. You've got to just keep it on 2 wheels. He's got 6 minutes plus a lap to go where he's at right now. I think it also, sometimes when you go down a couple times, not only you get flustered, but you settle into that slower pace of the other guys. You either need to get behind someone who's also fast, or maybe just, look at this battle. Cody Wells gets put over the berm by Stevenson. A huge move right there, as Jackson Vick was moving up in front of him on this green machine too. These guys are trying to work their way forward. This is all right behind Tharp, so if anything happens to Tharp, he's got a huge host of guys that not only have speed, but are trying to take over the points and really get ahead of him.
Yeah, I feel like I was missing so much stuff in the background. We saw so many passes and crashes and stuff. So I finally decided to go back, and what do you know? I catch Stevenson cleaning out Cody Wells. That is probably going to be clipped, and people are not going to be too thrilled somewhere in the Discord later on. But we'll get there when it's time. Tom Quinault dealing with Dylan Dallaire, who just passed him. 117.2 out of Dallaire, moves up into the 4th spot, so he is starting to charge forward and ran fastest lap of the race last time by. Nerona, another 5 or 6 seconds up the track going into the tunnel right now, is for 3rd place. So if Dallaire can get there, that would obviously be some big news for the Canadian. We'll see if he gets there. Meanwhile, up front, we do have to talk about the fact that there was a crash out of our leader, Jax Lindsay, 1 lap ago, and he ran a 119 this past time by, while a 117.7 was ran by Cash Woods. It's down to 6 seconds, and Lindsay's starting to hit lap traffic, so what looked like a sure thing is now starting to be up in the air a little bit down into the final 5 minutes of this first moto.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, don't look now, Kellen, but not only was there a fall, but there was also a bad recovery lap after that, and I think he's still gaining on him. So Jax Lindsay, the nerves are starting to hit. You got 5 minutes to go, and you've really got to lock in a little bit of slow entry there. Ooh, he almost, Kellen, almost doubled out. Almost did it. I think we're going to see it in the 450 class. I really think we do, especially as it gets bigger, that rut there. But Jax Lindsay, man, trying to keep it on 2 and into lappers as he almost goes over the bars, then gets into a district rider who's down. Cash Woods has to deal with the same one, but maybe a little bit more warning. And look at this, Colin, it's tightening up even more. 2.6 seconds between the two here. We thought this was all she wrote here, and Cash Woods is in the fight right now as they work their way through lappers.
I was just about to commend lappers actually getting out of the way nicely for Lindsay, and then of course he lands on a pile of them, and like you said, district teammates being able to help each other out a little bit there. While one was down, he can tell his teammate, who's probably in a Discord call with, hey man, I'm down in the middle of this corner, jump to the inside. Cash Woods able to read it, no problem, and get on by. So here we go, lead battle heating up. Cash Woods, a 2-time winner in Supercross earlier this year, all over the rear fender of Jax Lindsay as we go over the wall jump. 3.5 minutes plus a lap left to go, and it is on in St. Louis.
Yeah, small mistake into the wall there. Allowed Cash Woods to close up just a little bit. Also, just with great speed. You can just tell in the way Cash is riding behind him. He has wicked it up right now, and he is sending it just a little bit harder. The only thing is he going to be able to keep it on 2 wheels? Jax Lindsay blows the berm right there. A little bit better corner right there as he keeps inching closer, Kellen. Every small mistake, the pressure is on here at the front. Cash Woods can see it breathing down his neck. These guys, look how close they are. That rut is getting tricky. It kicks both of them, but it kicks Cash Woods down, not off the bike, but he's going to lose valuable time and 2 lappers in between them as that gap opens right back up and Jax Lindsay can breathe again.
Yep, 5.5 seconds now the gap, and crucially, they already went through quite a few lappers, so they might have some free space up ahead, maybe a lapper or 2 that they're going to have to get through. And Lindsay, a little mistake in this rhythm section. Cash Woods now dealing with his own teammate flipping off the track in front of him, so he's going to have to jump by that. But it is all still to play for here in the final 2 minutes of this race. We'll come back up and check it in just a minute. Ben Nerona has made it up into 3rd place as Dallaire still just trying to hawk him down from 4th. running some really impressive lap times. Still has fastest lap of the race at a 1:17.265, but that just got reset as coming over the finish line jump in the 8th spot is Braden Tharp, 1:17.257 out of Tharp. So he definitely picked up the pace once again. Little too late, though, maybe, as he goes by his teammate Holtzy right there. Gets a little bit sideways. Holtzy going to go back to the outside, try to repass him. And I think that'll work because that outside seems to be a little bit better. Trying to play it a little bit fair right there, but going to get him anyway. And the teammates continue to battle, but Tharp needs to make more passes because this 8th place is not going to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. This little turning roller section here has developed so much better for racing, maybe just because it's wide and they can go wherever they want than being stuck in the inside or the outside of the sand where it's kind of just pre-built and you're stuck there. Yes, it'll get deeper and a little rougher. Braden Tharp, huge mistake or small mistake, goes off, hits a jump weird, cases it with his front tire and goes down. So Tharp is falling apart. If you're Cash Woods, Kellen, and you are in this championship, you are foaming at the mouth by hearing exactly what's happening to him back there. But Stevenson has some competition back here with him. But this is a battle for 10th. Jackson Vick, who was looking to, make some really good points up. He's still stuck behind Tharp no matter how far back he's falling, still chasing. It's going to be Cash Woods trying to separate himself in the championship and be the competitor with Tharp.
Yeah, how wild the playoffs are. You have first and second in the championship in Tharp and Jackson Vick in 9th and 11th right now. Meanwhile, the Moto 1 winner from Concord last week, who did not finish the second moto, Hayden Stevenson, is splitting them, and he's in 10th. So these guys very inconsistent right now with the scores across the board, and it's opening up more opportunities for some of these guys to get into the mix. It is going to be really close with timing and scoring. 10 seconds left on the clock. I think Jax Lindsay is about to get an extra lap, and that's going to only help Cash Woods, and he will get an extra lap. White flag was not waving. 2 laps to go. Woods coming over the finish line jump behind him has 2 laps to wrangle this thing in. He's got to get through lap traffic first, but you never know what could change in the next 2 laps.
Yeah, he hit it with 2 seconds right there, Kellen, and only had a 3.5 second gap. So you have to just go for it, but it's going to be insane to see if that is the deciding factor here as we're on board with Cash Woods as he gives chase here. 3.7 seconds back, now 3.5, now 3.3. Look at all these lappers splitting them easily as Cash Woods. It's a little bit easier to get through when you're the second one by, and we'll see a couple different moves here. Look at that triple to the outside, banking off that. Just different lines here by these guys, but now under 3 seconds, Cash Woods is moving up slowly but surely. Kellen trying to work his way up, and I think it might come down to a last couple corner pass the attempt that we might see.
And crucially, it doesn't look like there's going to be much lap traffic problems for our race leaders in the next lap and a half or so. So if you're Jax Lindsay, you've just got to try to run and hide. Look at the speed that Cash Woods is carrying through these corners, though. Absolutely ripping as hard as he possibly can. Got it down to about 2 seconds as the white flag looms up the racetrack. Jax Lindsay's trying to hold on to win Moto 1 as the white flag waves in St. Louis, but can Cash Woods run him down? 1 lap to go. Woods in and out of the tough blocks a little bit, will lose some time. It's up to Lindsay to nail this lap perfectly and get the job done.
Yeah, I love watching that chase cam because you can see it. Lindsay, though, cases the triple on. How big is that going to be?
Look at this. Cash Woods quadding over him into the race lead as Lindsay goes down at the end of the rhythm section. He totally messed up the recovery route, and Woods able to jump on by. It's not over yet, though. Woods made a little mistake on sand exit right there as they go over this double jump, and lap traffic is out of the way for the most part, but they could be down at any blind point. So Woods has got to hang on for a half a lap. Look at Lindsay back on the charge into the wall jump, sending now, trying to get back in position.
Yeah, you've got over 10 seconds behind you. There's no reason not to push it as hard as you can. Maybe make him nervous and make a mistake. Man, that's insane. The downside of riding the 250, Kellen, in this game is the fact that you make a mistake, you case onto a jump in the rhythm section. It's really hard to get back into rhythm on the 250 compared to the 450, and that ended up biting Lindsay, as looks like Lindsay might have gone down because there's a huge gap. At least a slide out there. 7 seconds Cash Woods has as he's got 1 final corner.
And he's going to double single his way in to play it safe, but he came from all the way back and leads 1 lap in Moto 1. Cash Woods takes the first moto of the night in St. Louis. and an incredible ride forward to get in position to challenge Jax Lindsay, who
yeah.
throws it away right at the end, and he looks livid, quits the game still in midair. He'll pick up second, but he's going to be so disappointed. Dallaire gets all the way to third, so he's able to get around Nerona. Quinault is hung up in the corner, gets taken down by a lapper, still going to get up in fourth. Nerona trying to get there in fifth. Cepeda passes his teammate in the final corner, and Cepeda trying to pick up some championship points right there in a good position. Holtzy, Ryan Chelsea, and Tharp into the final corner, and Chelsea's trying to hold on, goes over the double and into the line, gets him by a nose, and I mean literally a nose. 0.1 at the line. Tharp crosses in ninth, and Hayden Stevenson will round out our top 10. What a first 250 moto. Last lap pass. Had it all, certainly did.
Holy cow. I can't believe. I thought that was going to be a snoozer for a second. Then it got crazy. Then it turned snoozer. Then it got crazy again. This track is shaping up really good. I really like, too, a sneaky part of this track that's developing, Kellen, is that rut into that 353 triple right before the finish line. A lot of guys really struggling. They're getting crossed up there, making a lot of mistakes. We saw a last corner pass happen there. Just a really weird spot. Let's see if anything changed inside the top 10. I don't.
Woods, Lindsay, Dallaire all clean up front. Quinault and Cepeda inside the top 5. Nerona, Holt.
Ninth place. He got by. Tharp moved into 8th.
So Tharp moves to 8th ahead of Ryan Chelsea, who ended up with just enough penalties to lose that position, but it was still Stevenson rounding out the top 10. Jackson Vick ends up in 11th as well, or actually 12th. He got bumped by Antonio Velati at the end there. So chaos reigns supreme in 250 Moto 1 and sets us up for an electric 450 Moto 1 coming at you here in just a moment.
Real quick, thank you to Brandon Nygren for the $5 donation. He said, thank you for streaming, Kellen.
Just happy to be here, you know.
We're just happy to be here. That's like covers half my burrito, so really appreciate your donations, everyone. Keep them coming. VRYCS says, we are so back. Oh my God. Heckman Sim is back. TK11, T Clevin 11, T Clevin 11. That's kind of a sick name. I've never read it like that. He said, Awood, they're allowed to pick their gate. I'm sure you know that though. I'm saying, yes, I would pick my gate in like gate 10, 11, 12, right around the box. We did see Tharp get a third place start. He was fourth going into the first corner though. Very, very smart. Hit the brakes. He was on the third or fourth gate, slammed on the brakes, really rode clean, hugged the bales, but that works on almost every track, even if you're just the inside. But it just doesn't give you the opportunity if you have to have an insane jump or you have to hold up and pray that that happens. But someone can always tip over in front of you on the bales. And I'm sure we'll see some carnage in the 450 class. I'm curious to see exactly where we get the whole shot from. I'm going to be keeping an eye out just for you guys, figuring out what happens, because I'm a firm believer, Seth Carr, if he picks gate 1 through 4, I'm going to punch him in the face. Seth Carr, though, the man to beat, he has some company, Kellen. And they're going to try to make it work. Seth Shirley, Braden Carter, Tyler Lang. Guys, we got to keep an eye out for.
Frank Jackson, second.
Frank Jackson, yes. And honestly, they don't need to pass in the points. Get within 10 makes it winner take all next round when it's triple points.
Exactly.
Got to remember that, guys.
Well, remember, it all starts right here in Moto 1. It starts with a good start and getting into the first turn first. It's time for 450 Moto 1 in St. Louis. Here we go. Again, a couple guys hit the gate, and Siebold causes absolute carnage going into the first turn. I don't know why that happened, but it comes out with Carr alongside of Braden Carter into turn 2. This could get good with the winningest Supercross rider in the game's history in second place behind Seth Carr. Quads over him and goes down. Caleb Hall to the race lead. Bodie Parker up the inside moves into the race lead as well. What just happened? I don't know why Siebold turned left down the start straight as well. I thought maybe we'd get a red flag, but nothing doing just yet as Parker out front.
Yeah, that feels disqualificationable, but hopefully I don't know if we got someone watching the races live admin, who knows, but Bodie Parker taking advantage. Yeah, weird out of Seth Carr. Braden Carter got a weird kick on that quad out right there, but Bodie Parker has some company when Joey Carter on the Dr. Do Machine scrubs way lower on that double. That looked kind of sick. He's been spunky, Kellen. At certain times this year, he's given us, treated us to some great racing. So see what can happen here up front with these guys. Can Joey Carter make a move and try to take away this lead before the rest of the pack gets there?
Yeah, look, it's Caleb Hall still right there, Jeff Cooper, and then Frank Jackson in 5th. Carr was able to get back going in the 6th spot, so he came out smelling like roses after all that chaos with the first rhythm section really kicking things off. Over jump right there for Parker, and here's Joey Carter cutting back up underneath, trying to make that pass happen. Nothing doing just yet. As a nice recovery there for Parker, jumping back to the inside and putting the gas on. Lead group starting to break away a little bit. Top 6 pretty much nose to tail through the rhythm section. Joey Carter down at the end of the rhythm section and is going to lose all of those positions. A little bit of chaos as these guys came into the corner. Jeff Cooper has the championship leader, Seth Carr, right behind him. Frank Jackson, second in the championship, got passed in that little soiree. And Parker still leads from Caleb Hall, who just laid it down in the sand. Jeff Cooper getting sideways as we go into the wall jump. And Carr trying to split the difference between these guys. Does not want to get involved. Hall passes Cooper. Cooper comes back across. And Carr sitting there just like, please don't crash in front of me, guys.
Yeah, this track, did it feel wider than the regular Supercross track besides the split lane sections? It almost looks or feels like it, but the way that these guys are riding the bull corners, I love the way that Jeff Cooper tried to kind of go in early, square up the corner and cut down. And we saw that a lot in the 250 class. I just really like the way that this track is racing. It's so close, and the small mistakes is bringing it out of these guys. But man, Caleb Hall still holding on after making it through the LCQ by a nose in front of the red plate leader. Man, this is awesome racing. The only bummer, Kellen, Seth Shirley in 21st, Wyatt Grant 16th, Pankow, I don't know how Seabolt's still out there. He's in last, but not sure if he got DQ'd or just in last.
Wow, Seth Carr shoots into 2nd place after Jeff Cooper tried to put the block pass on Caleb Hall, and that is the beneficiary for our championship leader as he moves on by. So Jackson goes with him into 3rd. Castellaneta up here out of nowhere into the 4th spot. Frank Jackson down huge off the double. Weird scrub crash right there. I think he just went short trying to scrub the double a little bit too hard. Going to get going just as Tanner Rogers gets there. Tough break for him. Allows Joey Carter, Braden Carter to go by. Jeff Cooper, Castellaneta all up here. And then Seth Carr is on Bodie Parker for the race lead. So this could be bad news for everybody else. Parker going to try to hold on, but Carr wants to go to the front right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell he's got a lot more pace than the guys he's riding around. Trying to give himself room. I like that. You see him not completely following in case something happens, but then ducking into that rut, also just sweeping it, having a little bit more roll speed. Bodie Parker, though, has been able to hold him off for a little bit longer than I thought up here. Seth Carr, man, you got to watch out. This guy is an animal. I think you're going to see a pass in this long rhythm section. The way that Carr hits it is just so much faster than everybody else. Let's see what happens here. We come into it. Can he get it cleanly? For me, it's the quad out and how you're able to get into this point, that little pocket right there. The outside favored, but he crosses over to hold him off.
Yep, defended the inside to not give him the advantage, then jumps to the outside to block the line. Nice defensive riding there for Bodie Parker so far. Now, where could Carr figure out a pass? Like you said, the rhythm section, his opportunity, not able to get it done. Up into the wall jump, nearly side by side. A little bit better down the backside of that. Parker just can't do any defensive tactics anymore, and Seth Carr takes over the race lead just like that.
Yeah, Seth Carr with a nice clean pass there. He's going to try to run away. Braden Castaneda in 3rd, but Bodie Parker has also looked strong. Both those guys in striking distance. You can see them all in one shot there. And not giving up right here is Bodie Parker as he's trying to keep giving chase right here. I just want to see what Seth Carr does if he really locks in and starts dropping some fastest lap times of the race. He has a 1:16. The fastest is a 1:15. So after this next clean lap, we'll see what he has to put down. I will keep you updated on that because I get too distracted by the live timing leaderboard and the stats than what's on screen as I miss all sorts of passes that are going on. But what is going on in this race, Kellen? I am still flabbergasted at the start.
Yeah, I can't believe Carr came out as well as he did with how much chaos there was.
And
on the
Braden,
first lap
where
and a
he
half.
went?
Yeah, well, Carter went all the way up into the 6th spot, then crashed again. So now he's all the way back to 6th after another crash, and he's trying to work his way forward. He ran a really good lap 2 laps ago, 1:15.953, the fastest lap of the race still to this point. So we'll see if he can try to work his way forward. He's 12 seconds back of his race-leading teammate Seth Carr, so not going with him, at least right now. But I almost wonder if Carr may have a mistake or two in him. If Carter can lock it down and start running these good laps, if he keeps it within that 10-second range, he'll give himself a shot, I think, at some point during this race.
Yeah, I think so too. The only thing is with the qualifying times, let's see, we have a 1:15.9 by Carter. His qualifying time was around the 1:15.0, and but then we were in the 1:14s for Carr. So if Carr can lock in, start running those qualifying times, I think as the track breaks down, it's going to get faster. And Braden Carter, I think he might just be a little bit too far back to just kind of straight pull that time. There's got to be mistakes by these guys. But I wouldn't sleep on Braden Castellaneta, just like that, a 1:15.3 by Seth Carr as he comes across the line. And a bad lap time right there by Braden Carter. I can't read.
It's his new personal best, 1:15.7 for Carter, so he's only 4/10 slower.
All right, they're both fast.
But yeah, they're definitely moving as Carter closes up to Jeff Cooper, trying to get into the 4 spot. Still about 12 seconds off the lead right now is Braden Carter. Then Castellaneta up in the 3 spot. Solid performance for him. Didn't see him much last week in Concord, but good to see him showing some solid performance here so far. Bodie Parker hanging tough in 2nd. I think he still kicking himself. The defense didn't work a little bit better against Seth Carr, but clearly only 2 or 3 laps since that pass has happened. You see exactly why the defense probably wouldn't have lasted much longer than where he had it.
Yeah, I mean, so early in the race, it's not like you're just going to start like trying to block past the guy every corner and look back, right? Like 10 times, get black flag, maybe. But no, Bodie Parker, I think he knows he doesn't have the speed. You take the main line, you try to just keep it there, and then now when he's out front pulling away, you just try to put in your laps, hit your marks. I was trying to kind of run with a lane that Braden, as he tips over, goes down off the bike too. My lane was going to be that him and Castellaneta have the best chance to actually get there. I didn't think that Braden Carter was going to be able to get up that far and kind of challenge for this, but as I say that, a mistake by Bodie, and now Braden Carter's up in the 3rd. So I still think Castellaneta, though, if you keep that thing within 10 seconds, Seth Carr does have the possibility to make some mistakes and give yourself a shot, man. Don't let it get too far out of reach. We saw last race, 20-second gap doesn't always mean too much.
Ooh, and then he gets hit from behind by Joey Carter and goes down. So Carter moving his way forward, goes up into the 4th spot. Of course, Braden Carter did go by when Bodie Parker was down right there. So another pass made, and now only one rider separates him and Seth Carr. It's, of course, the field ski and snowboard number 22 of Braden Castellaneta. So we'll see if Braden Carter can close the gap down on his former teammate and the guy that rides for the team that he owns, even though he's on a different team. Always confusing how that works out, but it is what it is. 4 seconds up to him, and then 9 seconds up to our leader, Seth Carr, who is already headed towards the finish line jump. Man, Seth Carr just absolutely laying it down and just put a 1:15.250 up on the board. New fastest lap of the race again, and he's starting to wind it up. We're down to top 5 level qualifying times during the moto, which is just insane stuff to see. A little bit off kilter right there, has to lose a little bit of time, but man, he is on one out front.
He's just unreal, man. And it's unreal as he almost goes through the front door right there. A little mistimed seat bounce, and that is one of the worst feelings in sim, honestly. A little bit too late, and you just throw yourself over the bars, and you got to pray that you don't do it bad enough. Able to keep it on 2 wheels there, but just the pace that he's able to run. For me, what's surprising is, I think of him as like an outdoor specialist, and this track is pretty damn supercrossy, and he's still just kind of dominant and smooth. And I don't know, I expected, there it is, first lap that we see it probably happened before. 250 riders were almost doing it. I told you, guaranteed someone was going to do it, and Seth Carr hits it so clean, looking like Jet Lawrence out there.
Dude, I would say there's less of a lip off of that than there was in real life. Like, the technicality of actually riding up the rut the way that Carr does to do that is absolutely insane. And I can't believe somebody did it. I really can't. I thought that was a no-go line whatsoever. And here it is, Seth Carr out front, doubling off the off-camber and just absolutely laying down lap times like nobody's business. Insane stuff. Not even his best lap, and still one of the best laps of the race right there. I almost want to stay with him because this lap looks like it's about to be insane. He's already nailed the first 3 or 4 corners, and I think he's going to go for that double line again. I mean, he probably could.
I think he'll do it every time. I mean, he didn't almost go over the bars too this lap, so I think that shook him up and slowed him down just a little bit. I don't see there's a reason why he can't when he has no pressure, no lappers around him. He's got so much bike control. But I think the thing is, it doesn't look possible when you're riding the track, but this track, it's broken down so much. Like, we can watch it in first person later on as it even develops more. It looks easy, at least, to even do that. Yeah, there's no way he's not going to do it every time.
Yeah, he's...
Let's see this lap time, and then we'll...
Yeah, I just wanted to stick with it and see what the actual time was that he puts down right here. 13.1 second lead. He's even opened it up more over Castellaneta on this lap. 1:15.4. It's still not even the best lap of the race, but it is a damn good one as we go back to the battle for second place. We've got some snacks from my wife. Thank you so much.
These were supposed to be for book club only, and we got one. Pumpkin muffins.
Is it? Oh, man.
Yeah,
it's got some serious stuff on it, too, here.
Kellen.
As Braden Castellaneta and Braden Carter have changed positions for second, as Carter made that pass just before the finish line jump and moves on through. So now 15 seconds up to race leader Seth Carr. Probably too far gone at this point, but you never know what could happen in MX Simulator racing. We'll get back to that battle in a little bit and see what happens. Braden Castellaneta, Bodie Parker fourth, Jeff Cooper still fifth, and then chaos going on behind them. Joey Carter, Frank Jackson, Cooper Hunt, Tyler Lang, Ash Deering, and then Shirley coming into the corner behind him. We got a freight train on track, and choo-choo, it's Joey Carter leading out of this one as caboose right now is Ash Deering. This is a terrific fight just to try to get into a sixth place on the racetrack, as Jeff Cooper was just down, so check that. It's now a battle for fifth.
Oh, yeah. Jeff Cooper goes by. Joey Carter, mistake right there. Everyone kind of capitalizing. That's what happens, though, when it's this close to a lot of lines. I really like that outside corner. There's no one line, but people still end up following because they're crossing over on each other's line and then going into the wall, and they all have to kind of bunch up. It always kind of makes it tricky there. But, man, 6-7 dudes in just a straight line is awesome right here. Still a battle, and this is all for inside of a top 10 spot, so... This is getting crazy right here. Fifth place, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. All right there. 6 dudes, one shot. Man, I'd be nervous. Where would you rather be in this? Would you rather be at the back of it, just kind of trying to chase, praying people don't go down in front of you? I think I'd rather be in the very back or the very front. I don't want to be second, third, fourth, or fifth.
Right in the middle of it sucks because you have to play offense and defense at the same time.
Yeah, like in the back, at least you're just like, okay, let me just follow and just watch for people crashing. But out front, you're just freaking out trying to go fast. Joey Carter, though, gets passed up the inside as Frank Jackson makes a clean move, doubling into the sand. Not all the way. Ooh, mistimes the seat bounce, almost goes over the bars, just like we saw from the leader earlier. But, man, nice little move from Frank Jackson, who finished second last week, is second in the points. And he is trying to gain as many points as he can this moto because he is trying to be part of the winner takes all next week when we bring this thing to Vegas.
Yeah, and obviously with Carr out front, you just have to do damage limitation as much as possible if you're Frank Jackson. Speaking of damage, it looks like we're about to have some damage in this fight back here as getting into the mix is Ash Deering. He made that pass stick on Joey Carter, almost pulled up alongside of Tyler Lang as they all funnel to this inside rut. In and out of the inside. Cooper Hunt at the front of this and losing touch a little bit with Frank Jackson, but down on the outside was the 29 machine of Bodie Parker. He slides back to almost the tail end of the group, allows Cooper Hunt, T. Lang by, Ash Deering, Joey Carter, and Parker now all the way back to 10th. So just like that, it changed again. And I want to give a shout out. We're not watching it anymore, but Braden Carter just went 1:13.953 out front. That beats the qualifying time from earlier tonight.
By 8
Unbelievable lap that he just put down, yes.
I kind of want to go see what he's doing, but this battle is too crazy. Hopefully in the next 5 minutes it'll break up and we'll see what's going on because it was a 1:14.7, Kellen, which our leader Seth Carr has matched in this race, but he just goes out and annihilates it by 0.8. That's crazy. Cooper Hunt, though, trying not to get annihilated from behind right now as he is just trying to hold off Tyler Lang. Tyler Lang has been pushing for a couple laps now. He's been towards the back of this little battle that we've had. They've split up a little bit. They've paired off into their own little mating rituals we got going on here. And yeah, look, a two-way battle right there, and then a two-way battle here, and then you got a straggler who's back there, Ash Deering, just trying to pray that one of these guys gets physical here and takes someone out. But it's crazy. I'm not seeing this get too deep right there like it did in the 250 class, that rut into that 353. We'll see if it starts to affect the other guys, but I like these little paired off battles here. It's just mono-y-mono instead of just a 6-man kind of like intense train that we're running.
I like when guys get physical, and we'll see if it actually happens with this battle between Jeff Cooper right now and the 28 machine of Frank Jackson in a fight for fourth. Jackson wants a position and could really use it as Cooper goes over the bars, over the berm, and he's going to lose so many positions because of how close everybody still was. We've already seen 4 bikes, 5, 6 go by. Is there a 7th? Yes, Seth Shirley goes by. So Jeff Cooper goes from 4th all the way back to 11th. Late in the race, 16 and a half minutes in, he goes down and he loses 7 positions. That's how close it still is.
That's crazy. 7 positions, 16 minutes into a race is just absolutely insane. Honestly, Kellen, I don't think the level was ever like this when we race. Like that late in the moto, you fall, you're maybe losing 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah.
Like it's spread out so much. And that's something I've just noticed over the years, that everyone is so close in ability. And yeah, you've got to be good. I think the one moto I won, I fell twice, or I fell once in like outdoors, and there's some of these times where it's like, oh, the top 3 in nationals never fell like off the bike, ever actually had a crash. So it's crazy how consistent you need to be, and how close everyone still is late into these races, even when your leader can get away by 20 something seconds. Braden Carter has that down to 7, which is crazy. But
yeah, there was a crash out front. I didn't want to.
Another crash right
yeah,
there.
We just had something going down in the rhythm
Cooper.
section. That was Cooper Hunt. Yeah, big one right there. But yeah, Carter has got this thing down ever so slightly to 7.4 seconds after a crash from Seth Carr. So he's going to need another one, though. I thought it would only be 1, but because of the way the Carr has ridden out front, it is going to have to come from another crash out of Seth Carr to get Carter back into this thing. And Carr just goes right back to 1:15.17 out front, just laying it down in the race lead. And if you're Carter here, you did the job. You got it even closer, but there's nothing you can do at this point other than hope, I feel like.
Yeah, hope and pray, but Kellen, what I got from chat was that Seth Carr went down doing that double out of the off camera that I talked about. I was like, there's no way he can't do that every time. Well, it bit him in the ass, and I'm assuming Braden Carter's doing it with the lap times that he's running. But I was trying to read chat to get updates from these guys, so I kind of missed this last lap. But we'll see. That could be a spot where it can kind of go out and grab these guys. But no, as I talk about that, Braden Carter throws himself off, misses that banking on the outside of that supposed to be sand. Is it sand traction? Or is it just dark dirt?
No, it's just dark dirt.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be like mulch, deep dirt.
Okay. Well, yeah, throws himself off. Seth Carter does it again almost. If Braden Carter didn't throw himself to the ground, that 9-second gap would have turned into probably 5, and there would have been a little bit more light at the end of the tunnel there. Wow.
2 laps to go. Does Carr keep going back to the line now at this point? It's back to a 9-second lead, so he has the ability, I guess, to crash and still win this race. But why would you at this point? I feel like you should just go into management mode, do your 1/16s that are even alien for pretty much everybody else, and just bring this thing home. I don't think he needs to do the send mode anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think when you get such a big gap, you've got to just keep it on 2 wheels. But look at, he's going Mach 10 around the outside of the sand, Kellen. I told you that was going to develop with the erode. And it's cool. Braden Tharp, even in chat, said the track got so much easier to go faster because of the erode. And I think it's because this track is starting with small little kind of ruts that are just building up in these big walls. So they're kind of having to tiptoe around in their Jordans a little bit early on in the race. And then just like that, Seth Carr's at least 3rd gear, maybe 4th gear with the gearing around the outside of that sand section. It's insane the amount of speed he's able to carry there. Even that, you don't need the line for the double when you can bank super high. All of these, look at, my God, the corner speed's nuts.
Going so fast in and out of the sand here under the tunnel and into the finish line jump. So white flag is coming out this time by. Seth Carr's got it at 9.3 seconds on this lap and goes 1:14.45, his personal fastest lap of the race, which basically is a qualifying lap time that he put down earlier on. and he runs it right at the end of the moto. I know it's a little bit easier to do it with the wall ruts, but there's still some chop in there that they got to navigate, and he's doing it no problem. Speaking of problems, though, he just is hung up in the sand, really bad hung up in the sand as he hits his teammate and comes to a complete stop. This is not over. Carter is suddenly there, only about 3 seconds back.
Yeah, what's crazy, Kellen? Oh, look at that. Even more lappers that Braden Carter was getting close to right there. He's off the track, having to deal with them, jumping across that 9-second gap, turned into just under 3. So Seth Carr has a little bit less breathing room and a little bit more nerves being shaken up. When you make a mistake or get into lappers late in the race, causes your heart rate to jump. You start getting a little nervous, a little sweaty, a little shaky, knees weak, mom spaghetti, all that stuff. The way Seth Carr is going right now, I'm curious. He's got to just try to take it easy right here, right? Yeah, no double. Just hit your lines cleanly. 2 turns to go, and he'll take this thing home.
No doubles, no troubles, and in and out of the sand section. One more time, Seth Carr survives the late attack from the 4-time Supercross champ Braden Carter and comes through to get the job done. Moto 1 in St. Louis goes to Seth Carr. Carter comes across in second, 3 seconds down at the flag, and that sets us up for a terrific second moto coming up in about 30 minutes. Braden Castellaneta looks like he is going to hold on for third. A very solid ride for the veteran on the Phil Ski and Snowboard Suzuki. Good job for him. T-Lang is hung up on the off camber. He gets hit from behind by Tanner Rogers, who's a lap down, and that allows Ash Deering to jump by, and then Ash Deering gets taken down by a lapped rider. So chaos reigning supreme, and it kind of evens out. The Moto Gods giveth and taketh away as Tyler Lane gets right back into 4th place. Deering 5th. Wyatt Grant's going for it. Will he go for a pass in the last corner to get 6th? He's getting close. Goes for the triple out. It's a drag race to the finish. Oh my goodness, that was close. And I think by
2,300 or thousandths
of a second, it is still going to go to Deering at the line. Jeff Cooper, Seth Shirley, Joey Carter, Frank Jackson in 11th on this one. Tough break for old Frankie Jackson back here. Parker, Blakely, Hunt, Eagland, 15th place. A lap down for him. Tough break for the Supercross champion. Alec Horton, Caden Pankow, Jeremy Siebold, Caleb Hall, Tanner Rogers, Blake O'Brien, and John Heilman.
What numbers are they? Who got it? Who got it with that?
Looks like Wyatt Grant did get into 5th over the 731 of Ash Deering, who had a lot of cuts. Oh my goodness. And it is Carr confirmed as the Moto 1 winner. So unbelievable first moto in both classes. And I don't know what's about to happen in Moto 2, but if it's anything like what we just saw, we are in for some fantastic second motos coming up.
Yeah, can we... you're on game capture. I wanted to re-look at the Seabolt clip off the start. There's some talk in chat I was trying to type to while looking at the screen and can't type. There's a chance he's not lining up. I was saying it should be an instant black flag. There's a chance he's not lining up for the next moto. Who knows? We'll have to see what the moderators do, but that was pretty bad. What's crazy is Wyatt Grant, Kellen, was in 20th place. Seth Shirley was in 22nd place. Multiple laps into the race solely because of the Seabolt takeout on the start. When you affect people like that, and both of them were in the top 5 or 6, and I was saying in contention for this championship, to be taken out and be dead last in the first moto, it sucks. We don't like dirty riding. We never have. Me and you. We're clean riding type of guys.
We are.
I'm all good for a Tom Cano takeout. That was sick, targeted, but sick, and like wouldn't be cool if there's a championship on the line and you're not in it. But I don't know. Cody Branson though, rocking the Rasta gear. He brought it out for us.
Rocking the Rasta gear.
Yeah, Ja man.
Oh man, you'll be able to see him from anywhere on the track.
Ja donkey. Yeah,
No
you can see
problem.
that Rasta kit. He put it on because I was saying it's so hard to tell who's who, and I like that. Guess who we can always tell who's on the track? Cody Branson, Spencer Turley. What's up, my dudes?
That's true about Turley, yeah.
Wagwan, my people. I love the Rasta guy.
All right, here we go. It's time for 250 Moto 2 coming at you live on Star Your Systems TV. We appreciate everybody that's tuned in tonight. And now it is time to decide the winners here at St. Louis for round 2 of the playoffs. Cash Woods got the job done in Moto 1. Can he repeat it, or will Tharp fight back? Here we go, 250 Moto 2 in St. Louis. Oh, somebody loops out on the gate, and it causes a stir on the outside. Cash Woods is in a great position, but he tucks the front end and goes down. I think that's Jackson Vick. It is, with the hole shot on the 74. Holtzy, Spieth, Quinault, Ortiz, Chaos reigning supreme in the background as more riders going down in turn 2, but it's Jackson Vick out front.
Jackson Vick had a very eventful first moto, and man, it's kind of crazy. He came in the chat on the stream, and he was like, why do I do this to myself? Like, I don't know what emotions to feel. Well, you can feel some good emotions now after getting a start. You just got to hold on to it, bud. You got a lot of competition, but the only person who was really up front that's close to him is Evan Holtzy and Quinault, and they're 2 positions back from him, so a little bit of breathing room early on. But Jackson Vick, you got to get out there. Remember, it's a fresh track. The lines aren't built up, and just try to kind of hit your marks early on. Kellen, where are our leaders from last time? Where are they at?
Well, I was trying to see where our championship leader, Braden Tharp, is. Another bad start, 13th place for him. As for Cash Woods, got off the gate so-so. He is down in 12th, so he's just in front of Tharp. And then, of course, Jax Lindsay, who almost won the first moto, is in 9th. So a big switch up in Moto 2 as Vic leads Spieth, Ortiz, Quinault, and Stevenson at the end of lap number 1. And this is all to play for. These overalls are going to be literally all over the board if it stays like this through the whole moto.
Nice. And good thing, though, Kellen, is Luke Sheff just told me that the points are updated after Moto 1, so we can kind of go check and see like where people are at. But actually, how does that even work? How does that work, Luke? Because it's going to depend on their second moto score. I guess tentatively, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that doesn't work. But thank you. Appreciate you. And honestly, MXS Battlegrounds, who is hosting this series, this SMX series for the second year in a row. Awesome job, though. The amount of the live timing that they get, all the back end stuff, live timing during the race, live timing the updates during qualifying without the race having to end. These guys are just next level. The track crew, all this stuff that we're able to get. I want to give them a shout out, though. Hopefully someone doesn't race the second moto 450s, but yeah, honestly, if all that happens, they're the best, dude. They're crushing it. And hopefully we see them around more.
Speaking of crushing it, Jackson Vick out front right now. And if it was, you know what, he's absolutely crushing it right now. As Hayden Stevenson off track in second, gets right back on in front of Killian Ortiz. Evan Holt, look at this freight train coming out of the tunnel right now for P2. Stevenson, Ortiz, Holt, Branson, Lindsay, Vanderkoy, all right there. And a pass as Evan Holt goes down the inside to get the pass done on Killian Ortiz. They're dicing back and forth. And, of course, Stevenson, who won the first moto last week, didn't even finish the second moto, then comes back, gets 10th in Moto 1. Literally every position throughout the field he's gotten so far to this point, and now he's up in second here in Moto 2.
Dude, he's absolutely shredding right now. I don't know why, if it's because we haven't seen Supercross in so long. There's been so many really good inside out, outside in passes by these guys. The way that they're racing these bowl corners, I feel like I've never seen people in sim ride so smart and so well with the way they're trying to do takeouts and check up on each other. And look at this, if he was a little closer, would try to dive up the inside. Can he defend it? Like, it looks and feels like they have so much more room, but I love the racing that we're getting in the corners on this track. And for what kind of sucked in real life, I'm loving this racetrack. Shout out to the track crew and everything, and just all these riders for the great racing we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, this track is really providing the goods here. Round 2 of the playoffs in MX Simulator. Jackson Vick still leading Hayden Stevenson and Evan Holt. Hayden Stevenson on your screen right now, so keeping an eye on him. Meanwhile, another mistake for Braden Tharp. He's not even in the top 18 anymore. He's fallen all the way back to 19th place as he's off our timing screen. That's how far down the order he's gotten. So a lot of work still to do for him. This is actually playing very nicely at the moment into the hands of Jax Lindsay. Cash Woods, the Moto 1 winner, in 12th. Lindsay looking at a 2-4 day right now. Jackson Vick, I think, was 11th in the first moto, so he's a non-factor. I think this Jackson Lindsay ride right now could be our overall winner, but it's going to change so much throughout the moto.
Got it. That's what Luke Sheff was saying, was like, it's the list of like where they finished first moto they already have up, so we could try to do the math ourselves because it's a little bit easier with Olympic scoring. So that could be helpful as this race goes on. But right now we're not even 5 minutes into it. Jax Lindsay, though, having a really good showing. I'm torn. I love when we have people go consistent, but I also love when we get some crazy shakeups and the math goes wild. And I want to see it go crazy here. Braden Tharp, kind of praying for your downfall. I want to see,
I want to see
fireworks next week with triple points.
I want to see how crazy it is to be Braden Tharp right now. 17th place. He's made a couple of passes and actually didn't run too bad of a lap time last time by, but he's still got so much work to do to even get into a good position. Remember, he was 8th in the first moto, so this is absolute disaster right now on a night where double points are on offer. He might have a 13-point lead in the championship completely evaporate unless he can turn it around in the next 10 or so minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if you have... say he finishes with a double 10, that's 22 points to maybe a 50. So it's like, that's crazy. The fact that he can go up 13 to down 20 something, and it's no longer, he's not even kind of in that winner take all, which we might have a 5-way winner take all. Braden Tharp really needs to just get on his horse and lock in. Honestly, if he wins the championship, I feel like right now is where he's going to make it happen. This race, this second moto here, he needs to lock in, face adversity. But look at this, just nerves and commentators curse and all that you got going against you, and Etsy witch, you never know. All sorts of things. He's got to lock in right here. 14 minutes and 2 laps, or in a lap to go. And Kellen, he's looking flustered, and I mean, I would be too, but can he do it?
He looks so much more vulnerable this week for some reason, and it's weird seeing that, as he was one of our 2 Supercross champions in the 250 class earlier this year. You would think going from outdoors back to in, he would adapt a little bit better, but I don't know, just a lot of inconsistencies. Obviously, the start of the first moto didn't help him. Just got a lot of breaks right there, though. Guys went down. He goes from 18th to 14th in one foul swoop, but still just an absolute freight train of riders to pass, including his teammate Emmanuel Cepeda dicing it up here with him. So Vanderkoy, Cash Woods, the Moto 1 winner, Logan Leitzel, Ben Nerona, who was 3rd in the first moto, Killian Ortiz. These are big names that Tharp has to go around, and we saw in the first moto, he would make some of these passes and then go back down again. So it's not even a foregone conclusion that he can walk through these guys and get through unscathed.
Yeah, what was the highest position that we saw him at in Moto 1? It was at least a 6th. If you get a 3-fer in the sand right there, I don't know how that just happened, but that's, if you get a couple gifts like that, it'll make it a little bit easier. But it's not only, having the speed, it's also, you just got to have the consistency once you get there, and we didn't even see that from him earlier on. He's got to have that combination of it as he works his way through the pack, and then hold it there, working your way through the pack, holding it in that position, and then working your way through lappers as those start to develop while still trying to make passes. It's a big load that Braden Tharp has to carry here, and
yeah, it is.
I'm not sure if he's used to that.
No, I'm not sure he is, but we'll see if he's able to fight through the situation regardless and get back into a good position. He's up to 11th. Nerona, his teammate, and Cash Woods, his other teammate, all 9 teammates up here, still running together, trying to work their way forward together as well. Next up for them would be the Rastaman, Cody Branson, running in P8. Good run for him as well. Tyler Show, Filski and Snowboard running 7th. Evan Holt up the inside, going to move into a 5th spot around Tom Quinault. So a nice ride for him. Lindsay down. Jax Lindsay is down. And we got an update from chat. He was not actually in position to win the overall. That's Dylan Delairs right now with a 3-3. So we'll see how much this changes after Lindsay goes backwards a little bit and falls into the Rastaman's position, and then he goes down, and we got a stack up in the corner. Tharp goes flying off the track. Cepeda runs into the back of him as Nerona was able to go by. Show went through, and Cash Woods has climbed all the way up to 7th. So now we're looking at a 1-7 for our Moto 1 winner, who is now just behind Jax Lindsay, who was in 2nd in the first moto. So we got a 2-6, 1-7, 3-3, a 4-5. It's all over the board.
Yeah, I actually like when we get, that's the best type of chatter. Thank you, Talon, for giving us updates right there. Right as we got the updates of positions, though, he went down, shook it all up for us. Cash Woods, nowhere to be found. Lock in, brother. But, man, that was such a commentator curse right there on Branson. The second you typed said Rasta, man.
He just yard sailing in the back.
Pushes the front, but Cash Woods, he's absolutely ripping right now. Honestly, kind of disappointed in him, though. The only District Designs rider not wearing matching gear.
I like it though because I'm sick of all these guys looking the same. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, who's who, and they're all white and black.
That's true.
It's
They
not
did-
like about a flavor to them.
They did look cool though when they were like 3 of them in the same corner last race, and you're like, dang, that's kind of tight. Look at these teammates, just like legends, like the old PC Cowie days when you just had them all riding like that Washougal picture. That's a sick one.
I will say though, their kit is clean, but all the white with, like the gear combined and stuff like that, it just makes them all blend in anyway. Like there's not a lot of flair to the gear or anything like that.
If they
Nerona and Cepeda, for example, who are also his teammates, are wearing different gear, but it doesn't look different enough that you'd even notice.
Yeah, Nerona's gear I like because it's got like the sea foam on the back. It's more black and like sea foam, like minty color. So yeah, Tharp. Actually, I think Tharp changed it up from first moto. Maybe he didn't want to match them all because I'm pretty sure he had that same jersey on last race. As he's trying to make some moves right here, he said, "Get away from my teammates, dude. I don't want to look like you. I'm gonna pass this guy up the inside right here." And he goes deep and goes down.
I don't know what he was thinking, trying to land
like
on the back of Tyler Show right there, but he loses 2 positions to his teammates. Cepeda and Nerona went by. Cash Woods now clean air, doesn't have to deal with his teammate anymore. Jax Lindsay still up in the 6th spot. Quinault in 5th. Holtzy 4th, right on the rear fender of Dylan Dallaire. Stevenson and Vic still 1-2 up there as Dallaire goes off track. That's a free spot for Evan Holt. Up the inside, passes Dylan Dallaire. And I think that actually just bumped Dallaire off of P1 because he was sitting on 6 points. Now he's back to 7 points. And Jax Lindsay's on 8 points. And we just saw Cash Woods go down. He's back to 11. So I guess Dallaire is still in position. I mean, the math in this moto is confounding to try to figure out as we're past halfway in this thing and still plenty of racing left to go. It could change. I think Dallaire is in position to win the overall. I don't know. It's going to shake out really weird.
Yeah, it's crazy because when Dallaire was in 3rd, I was like, who's going to win the overall? Kind of forgot he went 3rd first moto. I kind of felt really bad about that. But yeah, now it's shaking up even more. As you see Holtzy kind of work his way up. As Vic is kind of a non-factor though, right? Because of how bad his
11th in the first moto.
Yeah, his first moto. So it's like, I mean, he's doing what he has to do though. Put yourself, especially when you see what Tharp is doing, you don't really need to go out and win. Put yourself in the top 3 or 4. Get the double points. Other guys are having bad rounds. Take this in the triple points. Vegas finale. Dude, I think it's going to be fireworks, this 250 class, especially if Braden Tharp can't get to like 4th, 3rd this race. It's going to be absolutely wild points wise, unless we're completely like missing someone that was already close to him and is going to be on the podium here again tonight. Yeah, I love the shakeups we have. The 250 class is always some of my favorite racing just because of how hectic it is, and it's just unpredictable. Triple crowns, LCQs, 2 moto formats. Thank you guys for always bringing the heat.
Yeah, this is insane to see how this is going to shape up by the end of the night, as we're down to 7 minutes and a lap left to go. Hey, don't count out Hayden Stevenson trying to win this moto, and he was 10th in the first moto, so he's actually in a position where he could still beat Jackson Vick overall if he goes and runs him down. They're both not really factoring in to the overalls because it's so up in the air behind that. You got Evan Holt 3rd. Jax Lindsay has climbed all the way up to 4th, so he's shuffled Dallaire back. He's looking at a 2-4 right now, I should say, as he's back ahead of Quinault, who rounds out the top 5. Dallaire back to 6th. Nerona 7th. Show 8th. Cashwoods 9th. And Tharp 10th. And still not really moving forward much. So Tharp might be really screwed for an overall position here tonight, losing a lot of points in the championship as a random new winner is going to show his face. I think Jax Lindsay's putting himself in position to get this thing done.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely trying to take this thing home, and he's showed really good consistency out front once he's gotten up here. Hayden Stevenson is a lot of times that guy, not like blow your face off speed, but definitely really good consistency. A little bit different last week. It was kind of surprising to see his little blow up that he had, but I think it'll get close. But Jax Lindsay, if he can keep riding how he's riding, we're almost 3/4 of the way done with this race, and he's still looking strong as he goes in the bales off the track. They always try to make me look bad every time I start talking about him, but Jax Lindsay looking really, really good here on his Phil Suzuki.
Yep. I mean, they can't make you look good because that would just be making our broadcast look way too good, way too professional if we actually knew what we were talking about. They got to hold us up somewhere and knock us down a peg or two. So I get it. I understand it. But
maybe you. Oh, P1 Lindsay?
Yeah.
No.
I said that. Jax Lindsay, P1 right now, 2-4. Dylan Delaire, P2 on a 3-6.
I was thinking Vic.
4-5 on in P3. And Cash Woods now goes to 4th on a 1-8. So they're kind of moving around a little bit. Evan Holt looks like he's going to round out the top 5. Braden Tharp just ran the fastest lap of the race at a 1:16.7 in 9th place, right behind his teammate Cash Woods, actually. So he's trying to run down Woods and knock him down from a podium position, but Woods just trying to get up there, maybe make another pass or two. He could pass Ben Nerona here in a minute if he gets on his rear fender. I mean, it's just all over the place. Like, the math is not mathing anymore. And I'll give credit to these guys because, look, as chaotic as the first moto was, pretty much everybody that had a bad moto, except Tharp, is kind of turning it around in Moto 2, which is why these scores are so all over the place. Like, you're going to end up pretty evenly across the board with 8s, 9s, 10s as their scores, and it's just because they came out in Moto 2 fired up to get the job done.
I mean, as of right now, P2 and 3 have 9 points. P4 and 5 have 10 points with way different ways. 3-6, 4-5, 1-8, 7-3. So it's like the only consistent person that's been here on the track tonight is Jax Lindsay himself. And yeah, Stevenson, Vic, Holty, all these guys just really all over the place. Kind of crazy. I love it when it's like that though. Man, good racing here. 250s. You guys are the best. So good.
The best.
This race. What do we got going on anywhere else?
I mean, there's not a lot of battling. It's just all
Delaire
about
looked close, but he's like just not.
He's not on him. Quino.
They're like a second and a half.
Here we go. Nerona and Cash Woods just changed positions. Cash Woods moves up to 7th around teammate Ben Nerona. So now looking at a 1-7, which would, of course, knock Quino off the podium. Might actually put him 2nd overall the way it runs, which is crazy talk. But we'll see if it stays that way or not. And then Tharp still back on the charge right now. 118-1 last time by. Just a quiet 9th place, though, tonight in Moto 2. Looking to go 9-9 on the day, 18 points total. Certainly outside of the top 5 for his overall result. And I'm shocked at this. I really expected him to be firing on all cylinders. Qualifying looked like it went excellent again here tonight. He's going to get a pass done right there on teammate Ben Nerona, so it'll go up to 8th. But I don't know. I'm still in shock at this rides out of Tharp here tonight.
Yeah, so if he gets up to like 5th overall, he's still losing 16-ish points. A lot of points. This guy's probably going to lose the lead. There was a lot of guys really close to him. Man, bummer for him, but it's going to mean Vegas is even that much more important. It might go from not even just a winner take all, but winner, he might be Deegan. He might have to win, but then needs someone else to finish somewhere else. We might start seeing some takeouts.
He's just going to absolutely kill Dylan Delaire.
Just Dylan Delaire. You just better watch out, dude. Just locking both brakes up every corner. No, it's going to be good. I'm at least glad. Too many times, the good thing about this series, this SMX series, we've kind of had it both years, I think, is almost every time in Supercross and Motocross, it goes down to like, oh, someone clinches early. We're just kind of bored the second half of the season. There's not much going on. There's going to be something going on in at least one of these classes as we come in next Wednesday to bring you guys the finale here. Same time, same place. Please come back and watch. Tell your friends, like, subscribe. We love you.
We love you guys.
Donate, subscribe, Twitch Prime.
Definitely want to keep doing this. Honestly, I totally forgot. I wanted to set up memberships on our YouTube side this week just to see if anybody would be interested in supporting the channel a little bit further. Obviously not necessary. I always love doing these streams. Out of the goodness of my heart for the folks watching, I don't want to make you guys pay, but it helps us out a ton if any of you guys can to make it possible to maybe come back in 26. We'll see. But either way, we're here right now. We're calling round 2 of the playoffs, and it is still up for grabs. These podium spots, heck, the overall spots, because Jax Lindsay's just dropped back to 5th. Cash Woods on 1-6. 2-5 for Jax Lindsay. They tie on points. The better second moto is the tiebreaker. But I can't even believe we're going to have a score of 7, maybe even higher than that, end up being the overall winner on the night. And it still has a chance to shake up from here. I mean, actually, Dallaire was third. He's on a 3-4. He's also on 7, so he should be in a position to win the overall over Jax Lindsay. This is absolutely insane the way this is breaking down.
Yeah, the fact that Dylan Dallaire making that pass, I mean, meant so much. I mean, obviously, it's the guy in first and second making the position. I'm kind of dumb for that, but it's cool that, there's still a battle for the overall right here on the track, and they're only one jump away, just a few sections away. So Dallaire's got to hold this thing together, but time has expired. There's only going to be one left to go, Kellen, and this thing might get spicy here. We saw a lot of carnage. Whoa!
Ooh, someone jumping off the track in the background. That was Jax Lindsay.
That was Lindsay, yeah.
Cash Woods is through. 1-5 now for Cash Woods. Sits on 6 points. Gets through Jax Lindsay. Lindsay needs to pass Woods again to, I think, even maybe just still end up on the podium. That's how tight it is. But Dallaire back in position on a 3-4 is on 7 points. He would need to go past Holtzy. This is playing into the hands of Cash Woods to try to win the overall. Meanwhile, Jackson Vick has led from the gate drop all the way through this thing, just absolutely putting a moto down out front, 8 seconds clear of Hayden Stevenson, and Stevenson still sitting in position to maybe even get 6th overall. And Jared Binks in chat, a.k.a. Jeremy Hinner, saying, should he make a comeback next year? 1,000% you should make a comeback. I'm fully here for the Hinner's reunion tour in 2026 every day of the week.
I don't want to lose my job.
No, I'm not saying to do the race. It's called the racing. You should come back to do anything. Race, hang out, anything. We're here for it. But yeah, the battle is still on as Holtzy comes up a little bit short. Dallaire is trying to get him. This would be for the overall if he can pass him and go 3-3 ahead of Cash Woods' 1-5. So Dallaire's still fighting for it as Holtzy. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a lap.
You were looking at me
messed up because they look
close.
like teammates. It is close. And Cash Woods is right there behind Dallaire. Lapper problems getting into Holtzy, causing some mistakes for him, so he gets a little bit blocked here, and Dallaire can get into the picture, maybe make the pass to win the overall. Cash Woods is still right there. Dallaire goes short on the jump, as meanwhile, Jackson Vick wins Moto 2 here in St. Louis. Stevenson's going to be second, and it's going to come down to this. Dallaire versus Woods for the overall, and in the way of that is Evan Holt. If Dallaire can go past him with 1 corner to go, let's see what happens. This is going to get tight. Oh, Dallaire's going to send it. And Holtzy wants to hold his line. He's going to pass him and take him out, but then Cash Woods gets back alongside, so Dallaire wins or gets into a podium position, but it's actually going to be Cash Woods who still wins it on a 1-4. He needed Holtzy to be between him, and that doesn't happen. Jax Lindsay ends up on a 2-5, and I think after the math settles, a 1-4 for Woods gets the job done over a 3-3 out of Dylan Dallaire.
Have we ever seen someone make a last corner amazing block pass annihilation, stay up, keep the position, but it actually hurts you on your overall finish? He needed to somehow slow up, clean him from behind.
He just made Holtzy have a worse night. That's it. It didn't change anything from the overall picture. Just Holtzy got screwed.
Holtzy, I'm so sorry, but that was awesome. What epic racing. There was a 700th finish between 7th and 8th place right there, but oh my god, cuts were everywhere.
Yeah, someone they stay the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the same. No, actually, sorry, Jax Lindsay loses a spot to Holtzy.
There's a big change up, I think.
And then Quinault went from, he's 6th, now he's 7th. Tharp was still 8th, so 8-8 for him. I don't know, man. These overalls
P7
are all over the place.
Holy cow. Good thing we got MXS Battlegrounds. Go check them out. They got awesome race results for us, and we will have updated results and points later on to recap after the moto. That was sick.
Man, I can't believe it. Last turn pass, and it doesn't even matter.
Math is hard. That was so sick. If you're not the one who got destroyed. I mean, you could see the line from that camera angle, went a little deeper, hit a little bit harder. What's crazy is there's a chance he makes that pass, gets like a front wheel clean, and Holtzy just tips over in front of Cash and gets up and beats him, and it works out. It's the fact that he didn't get far enough up, kind of still had the center punch side-by-side contact.
And here is your official 250 moto results, or 250 overall results. Cash Woods gets the full 50 points over Dylan Dallaire and Jax Lindsay. That's your podium. Tom Quino, Hayden Stevenson, Evan Holt, Jackson Vick, Cepeda, Tharp. 9th place for Braden Tharp. I'm not sure if the points are updated yet or not, but I would like to take a look.
24 points he lost to Woods.
I was meant to press this button instead and take a look at standings. Let's see if they are in. Yes, they are. So that's 450s, but of course 250s are here now. Cash Woods takes over the red plate going into the finals next week. Triple points, 11-point gap. Tharp's got to do some stuff to make it happen. He can't just win. Woods could still get second. Jackson Vick, Dallaire, Holtzy, they're still in it with a shot as well. 20, 20, and 22 points back respectively. We got ourselves a finale coming up in this series. That is insane.
All he needed to do was keep that gap within 9 points to make it winner take all. You could even tie if you just got the second moto at that point. But 11 points means something needs to happen. Next week, the storyline is going to be, can Cash Woods get second place? There's going to be some bunching. There's going to be some team tactics. There's going to be a black flag.
They're teammates, though, you know.
I'm going to bring a laptop. I want to be an admin. And I'm going to sit here with the black flag ready to go. Ready to lay down the law on someone. We might have some lappers get into it. I hope not. That's the worst type of racing ever. But, dude, there's people 20 points away that can just get in there and get a spoiler. Yeah. I am so excited.
Definitely a lot of guys that still have a shot at winning it next week. We'll talk about that again after 450 Moto 2, but we got to get through another race right here, right now, to decide the winner of Playoff 2 for MX Simulator in 2025. It was a wild first race that we saw eventually won by Seth Carr. Braden Carter was right on his heels all the way to the flag. Who gets it in Moto 2? It is time to find out. The 30 car is sideways. Our revs are come up, and it's time to drop the gate. Gate is down in St. Louis. Rushing to turn number 1. It's chaos going in up the inside. A couple guys went down. Out of the middle, it was actually Caden Pankow who gets the whole shot. Hall moves into second. Big crash going into turn number 2. Rogers is up here, and I do not see Carr. He looks like he's down in turn 2.
Yeah, that is a whole shot from the outside by Pankow, by the way. And Caleb Hall, is this double LCQ transfers?
LCQ guys,
double LCQ. Don't start on the inside. I told you, outside gates are better. Should have a good reaction time.
Oh my
Look
goodness.
at these legends right here. The only problem is, Kellen, LCQ transfer means maybe they might not be able to stay up here. Who knows? Everyone's way far back. Castanet at 11th, Shirley 13th, Carter. Oh my God, Wyatt Grant's way back there. Everyone, these are flip-flopped. We are going to be doing math. Kellen, from the lead. Okay, Seth Carr's in 8th. He's probably going to have the overall. But I was going to say, who would we have? Who would have the top 3 right now? Seth Carr still probably have it,
yeah,
but
probably Carr, because all these guys had much worse first motos in the end. Caleb Hall, I think, was maybe top 10 by the end of it. Heilman nowhere to be found. Cooper Hunt was in the top 10. Jeff Cooper was as well. There's Tyler Moore, who makes it into the moto after Seabolt gets booted, and then Seth Carr goes into 8th at the end of lap number 1, and he had Braden Carter with him, and then Carter fell again, and a patented terrible start for Seth Shirley. He's dead last as Carter now moves up into 20th. So Carr, dealing with all the chaos on the opening couple of laps, able to kind of find his footing here and get going in the 8th spot. But another mistake, he's going to drop 2 more positions, maybe more, as he's going to get hung up. He's getting pushed. Actually only loses 1 position. I don't know how he didn't go down right there. Nice save in the end, but he's back to 9th.
Yeah, crazy just sequence of events for these guys. It's every time, is the red plate that heavy? That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Heavy.
The red plate might be heavy. The problem is a 1-9, Kellen, with a 10 position overall might not be that bad with how much we got shaken up from last race. Seth Shirley had a bad start with that incident on the start, but guess what? He's in 22nd again. Might still be high from getting his wisdom teeth out, drooling on his thumbs, might not be able to hold the controller. Braden Carter, though, back there. Castaneda back there. Frank Jackson in the back. Tyler Lang. So all his competition isn't even around. So Seth Carr might be able to get away with this in a way that Braden Tharp was unable to. And I mean, already though, look at this. He's got 5 dudes right in front of him that he could easily pass. Makes a move up the inside. That was nice and clean. Gets the drive out of that sand corner where we go out the track. And one more spot closer, Kellen.
Yep, gets around Tyler Moore again, who is in this thanks to Seabolt being pulled off the gate due to his mishap in the first moto. So Timor makes it in. Ash Deering up into the 7 position. John Heilman just up the road of that as Seth Carr tries to hop over him and does to get into 7th place. Next up, Heilman, Colby Eaglin. Much better start for the Supercross champion this time, who has been, I mean, quite literally nowhere to be found. And Carr is down. He hit Heilman. He was off the track to the inside. I thought he would back out of the challenge. Still goes for it anyway and hits him and goes down. So now he's back to 8th place again. Meanwhile, Braden Carter, don't look now, is up into this mix right here. He's at the back of this group, making a couple passes as some guys get hung up on the wall. He's up into 11th as Carr goes to 7th and now 10th for Carter. So these two guys are some guys to keep an eye on. But the lead battle's starting to get good as well. Pankow still has Hallright on him, but Cooper Hunt is lurking in the shadows. He's up to 3rd, putting the heat on Caleb Hall.
Yeah, he's got some pressure for sure. Caleb Hall, though, holding on pretty good, especially... I mean, both these LCQ riders holding on great from... I didn't have any faith in them, I'm sorry, but Cooper Hunt showing some good speed right here all over the back of him, and Pankow is right there in the shot. So I think if Cooper Hunt gets him and can just carry that momentum, you might even see a twofer here. I think these guys are going to bunch up just a little bit tighter here too, with the way this track's been shaping up. I'd be curious to see if they can't get by quickly. I feel like this track, it shrinks so fast. If there's one small mistake or one little corner, you can just see how close everyone is on the racetrack from the lack of separation. If you get into a little battle and it slows you down just 1 second or one little scuffle in the corner, these guys might have the rest of the field right on their asses.
Cooper Hunt looking up the inside of Caleb Hall, but can't quite get it done just yet as he's trying to get into 2nd place. I also noticed these 450 guys can really make this outside option kind of work. It's pretty close compared to the 250s who just were not even trying it. And Cooper Hunt goes out there, tries to get close. Doesn't happen just yet. It's still Pankow leading this thing, coming up to the 5-minute point of this race. A terrific job, as you mentioned, from the LCQ to get in and absolutely do some damage here, at least in Moto 2 so far. Hall defensive lines trying to hold the 82 of Cooper Hunt at bay. Eaglin and Jeff Cooper trying to close up in the background as well as these two fight. And honestly, not too many inroads being made by Seth Carr yet, 9 seconds back. I'll update you guys. Braden Carter crashed twice after he got to almost right behind Seth Carr. He's all the way down in 18th as Caleb Hall barrel rolls and goes down out of 2nd place. That's going to allow Eaglin, Cooper, all to go by. Deering, and he gets up just as Seth Carr gets there and goes by as well. So Carr up into 6th place, and now Cooper Hunt has clean air to try to run down our race leader, Caden Pankow.
Yeah, oh my God, and look at the speed difference. He has turned on the jets after having that opening shoved right in front of his face. Look at this move up the inside. He's looking for it, unable to get there just yet, but that is a tactical move, kind of get into his head. And like you said, this outside, Kellen, the 450s are able to power down, get a little bit more roll speed through the corner than the 250s are, and then the torque to just get back on the gas. It just gives them, I don't even think it's faster, maybe even a hair slower, but not enough to matter, maybe a couple hundredths of a second. It really just gets you out of the line and kind of lets you, if they mess up the corner, you can take advantage of it and you're not following the leader in front of you, which a lot of this track is, and that's the #1 rule. Do not follow, take alternate lines, alternate ruts. You'll see it all over the racetrack, even when it is one line, just moving aside by one bike width or something, going a little outside here to sweep this corner. That all will help him gain a little bit more speed, keep it closer, and not follow exactly. Look at that quad over the top. You can barely tell because the camera angle, but that was an amazing line right there.
Jumps up to the inside. Into the race lead goes Cooper Hunt over Caden Pankow. Colby Eaglin into 3rd place behind these guys is actually not that far back, so Hunt has got to try to run and hide. Pankow doesn't look like he's ready to settle either. He wants to go try to get back into the race lead as Hunt makes a little bit of a mistake trying to defend the inside. There is Eaglin, though, getting into the mix. Jeff Cooper, and then Seth Carr, who's now just 6 seconds off the lead. and really on his horse trying to get into this battle for the lead. I think he's in a position where he could win the overall regardless, but I don't think he wants to let these guys get away too far. He's still looking at eyeing up the overall win with a 1-1 score. But Cooper Hunt not able to get away from Pankow just yet. Look at Pankow still going after the 82.
Yeah, what's crazy is that everywhere on the track, I mean, Cooper Hunt showed a little bit of spark, but where he passed him was just a slightly bigger line than I'm pretty sure Caden Pankow has the ability to do. It's not like he can't do it. He might have just missed that rhythm. The quad over the top of him, you could see that same thing happen the opposite way coming up here shortly. So I don't think this race is over by any means, and Cooper Hunt does look a little bit looser, and maybe that quad is just a little less inconsistent. You see him landing and jolting, making a mistake, dragging a peg right there. Almost goes off the track. That allows Pankow to get right up on his rear wheel. And just like that, Colby Eagland, after a rough last weekend and first moto, Colby Eagland is right there and trying to get into this battle, take over this lead.
Three-way fight for the lead here in St. Louis. Moto 2, hot and heavy with the action. And you can see the bumps into that corner, getting these guys a little unsettled. As what's that?
Those little ruts, breaking bumps right there. I love how they're developing.
Yeah, these guys getting unsettled coming into the corner, and now the fight for second is starting to heat up as Pankow goes defensive on Colby Eagland. Cooper Hunt might be able to sneak away a little bit here while these two battle. And don't forget the 6 of Seth Carr. Now he's lurking in the background as he comes into view as well. Oh, Pankow a little unsettled on the sand exit, and that's just like that. Up the inside goes Colby Eagland into second place. Now, can Cooper Hunt deal with the pressure of the Supercross champion?
I don't know, man. It's a lot of pressure. There's 2 people you don't want behind you. I mean, Seth Carr as well, but I was going to say Colby Eagland and Braden Carter are just known Supercross specialists. For the last 5 years, you say that one of those guys is on your ass, you're not having a good time, you're probably going to get passed. So, not the person you want breathing down your neck, especially late into the race. Everyone making mistakes as the outside develops, though, losing a little bit of room to Seth Carr as Seth Carr gets it cleanly here, and he's jumping up. Getting close, though, man. We might see a little Levi Kitchen move over here as they come over this wall. You never know. Every time they hit this wall, someone gets the power to the ground sooner and is able to kind of get close. I think we're going to see some crazy passes down the stretch here. This race was so spread out early, and it feels like it's slowly shrinking back together, reverting to the mean, and getting right where everyone needs to be.
Well, we'll give you an update on how wild the overalls are. Seth Carr is in position to win this thing rather easily as he gets around Eagland to go into second place now. 1-2 scores, no problem. But second place is actually Ash Deering looking at a 6.5 right now. A 6.5 for second could be possible. Tyler Lang was up in the mix with a 4.9 for third. He's still in position for that. Wyatt Grant, a 5.10 for fourth. And then Cooper Hunt, who's looking at that, or Jeff Cooper, I should say, who's looking at that 10.7, could be in fifth in this one. Where is Cooper Hunt in the first moto? I forget.
Seth Carr goes down.
Seth Carr goes down as he is going to lose one position at least two, I should say, to Eagland and Pankow, but Deering also goes by. He gets going just before Heilman gets there. That was a lengthy crash right there for Seth Carr, but Hunt now P5 with a 14.1, so 14.1 could be fifth overall. The overall scores are insane outside of what Seth Carr is putting down.
The fact that Jeff Cooper could have been fifth with a 10.7, and then it's like, oh, just kidding, there's an update. He made a mistake. It's now fifth with a 14.1.
Ash Deering might not podium either moto and still get second overall.
Ash Deering might not top 5 either moto and still get second overall, which is insane. Seth Carr would have to have an astronomical blow up for that to change, or Tyler Lang to start making some moves up in the field. But it just shows you how crazy this is. And this being double points, it's like it rewards consistency so much, Kellen. Imagine you just go out there and you go 2-2, 3-3 easily for a first or second, and you're getting double points, triple points. It's just, I would have so much confidence going into Vegas that these guys cannot put 2 20-minute Supercross races together in a row on a track that's breaking down, that's a little bit outdoors, a little bit Supercross. If I had 2 good motos, shit, even Ash Deering, I would be feeling so confident coming in because everyone's all over the place.
Oh, look at this move from Carr to the outside. Ash Deering to move back into third. They had gotten around Pankow, who was stood up in the corner before the finish line jump. So Carr back into third place. 7 seconds up the road is his teammate Eaglin. And, of course, Cooper Hunt still leading this race here deep into Moto 2. We're 7.5 minutes plus a lap still to go. And your top three now solidified once again. Deering fourth, Pankow fifth. Just got past, though, John Heilman up into the 5 spot on the number 16 swapmotolive.com Yamaha. So how about John Heilman? I don't think I've seen him once in the playoffs, and now here he is battling inside of the top 5.
Yeah, I feel like it happens a lot more with our stream because we only have one camera angle. We really have to pick and choose, but you hear so many times, especially in real life or, on a review podcast or something like that, people seeming invisible. A lot of times it's like Barsha, Ferrandis, someone who's just like riding around in 8th. John Heilman has been invisible for the last 3 20-minute motos that we've ran. Kind of forgot, didn't even know he was in this class. And he has now showed up to the party, ready to throw it down and holding on to a top 5. He's got to deal with pressure of Pankow, who led for so long, but gets into a rider, almost double barrel rolls off of Deering, who was down. Heilman, Pancake, whatever, was down. And, dude, how did he fall? He must have gotten scared, fell on his own. That was weird. Heilman was down for so long, didn't get up. Heilman gives him the biscuits. It wasn't even his fault. He was just on the ground.
I think because he got up sideways in the track and Heilman was committed already, so he hit him. But if you're Heilman, I can understand being a little bit frustrated, but the takeout maybe a bit egregious. And Deering goes from maybe second overall to now looking at a 6:12 day, and it's not good for him anymore. So that is a tough break for Ash Deering. Certainly has changed a lot. Not much has changed out front yet, though. Actually, sorry, yes, it has. Seth Carr is third, but Cooper Hunt is second. Colby Eagland is now leading this race. Out of nowhere, the Supercross champ has reignited the flame because he's been non-existent the first 3 motos of the playoffs, and suddenly, here he is leading Moto 2 in St. Louis. Where did this ride come from?
Yeah, he just had a really, really bad time in Charlotte last week at the drag strip, and he's just really kind of figured it out this round. I mean, his first moto was still pretty rough. He was so far back, just had a tough time. But I said earlier, Cooper Hunt, you don't want the champion behind you when you're leading a race with so much time left to go. Still now 5 minutes left in this race, and Seth Carr in second. I feel pretty good saying the way that Eagland has been riding this moto, he might be able to hold on to it, but who knows? Maybe Seth Carr starts putting down some qualifying lap times. We've seen this track speed up as the race goes on. Maybe Carr starts doing this double off of this off-camber. Who you never know what kind of tricks he has up his sleeve. But great ride by Colby Eagland on his District Designs ride as he is narrowly avoiding lappers as they are going down. And that's only going to come more as we get later in the race.
One thing I am keeping an eye on throughout this moto is Braden Carter's progress, which is really stalled out in 14th place. And 214 sounds disastrous for the playoffs. Remember, he entered this thing third in the championship standings and only 16 points on the board for his overall score. With how crazy things are, he still might get, 7th, 8th overall from this, and gives him at least a shot, a long one albeit, at winning this thing at the finals with a triple point advantage. But now Eagland lays it down, and that is going to give the lead to Seth Carr, who now sits in position to sweep the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. 1-1 here tonight, could be on the docket again. And now that he's in control, I don't know if he's going to relinquish it again.
Yeah, I had a lot of confidence in Eagland there, and probably shouldn't have had as much. Just the raw speed that Carr has, especially late in the race. He picked up. He had 1 or 2 late mistakes that I don't think he's going to repeat, doubling off of this and just a couple other things. But, I mean, Eagland looked great. He's got Cooper Hunt on his heels. But, man, Seth Carr is just total domination here and last week. Man, that red plate, that number 6, he's a champion for a reason. I mean,
just wheeling.
Come on, no, he's just showing up. That's not on purpose, though.
No, that was a crash.
And that's going to allow 2 guys to pass him. Probably, watch out. We're going to see Eagland probably get by, and Cooper Hunt is going to be close here.
So now the teammates are in a sandwich here as Eagland goes back to the lead. I mean, Carr's got this thing so won at this point because there's no one even close from an overall standpoint that could challenge him. but he's just having fun with his teammates out here, basically. I mean, Eaglin's going to try to lead this race and win it again. A mistake for Carr. He's front flipping and down in the rhythm section. So Cooper Hunt goes by, and then watch out because Jeff Cooper also just jumped by him as well. So wait a minute. Now there could be some real problems, especially with more names getting into the facade here. 4th place for Seth Carr, sitting on 5 points. I don't think he could crash again because then we're really starting to get into some danger zones here.
No. Shout out. Metal Militia. We got to be worried about Frank Jackson the most, right? For points, for everything, for title,
but he wasn't there in the first moto. Like this,
he was like
no one up here that was really.
I thought he was like 6th because Grant got up to like around 8th. I don't. The thing is, we can look and see what the overall points are going to be for tonight alone. But honestly, Kellen, I think until we see the overall points for the series with the seeding, the first round, and the double points, it's going to be tricky to see if anyone is even close going into Las Vegas.
Ooh.
Seth Carr, though, gets into 2 lappers, stuck in the rut, unable to pop out of it, tips over and loses 1 position right there. Not a complete fall off, but that's a little bit more time, a little bit more points. And honestly, Kellen, this with the win in the first one, it doesn't really matter too much for the overall or whatever, but for me, it's letting other riders gain more positions to help out their overall points.
Actually, one of them was not a lapper. One of them was Colby Eaglin, who was leading the race at one point. So Cooper Hunt goes back to the race lead after all that chaos. It's now Jeff Cooper, John Heilman, 1, 2, 3, and Heilman just in front of Seth Carr on your screen right here as Carr's going to try to get back around him. Joey Carter's moved up into the top 5. Tyler Lang is now 6th. Eaglin's dropped back another position. Going to lose another one right here as going by is Wyatt Grant. Takes him down, and Eaglin's night is pretty much over now from almost winning this thing to all the way outside of the top 10 in basically 1 lap.
Yeah, he had 5.5 minutes in a lap to go, and he is, oh, how the mighty have fallen, Kellen. I thought there was a resurgence. I was looking good. Is that Braden Carter right behind him on the number 2, his district teammate? And Eaglin is down again, and he's gone. He's over.
Wow.
He's throwing in the towel like Rasmus Balzer did after a tough first round. You hate to see that. I mean, just one of our champions from the year just not going their way, and it's a real bummer losing more and more people that can be competing here. But sometimes, man, you just feel like it's all not going your way. But you know who it is going his way? The Coopers. We got 2 of them in real life SMX, and we got 2 of them out here, and they are 1-2 on the racetrack. Cooper Hunt leading Jeff Cooper, and a great showing, honestly, by these guys. It's pretty awesome anytime you can beat the likes of Eaglin Carter and Seth Carr, who's, you know, he was out there fighting. He was leading and never gave up and still holding on.
Yep, Cooper Hunt on his way to taking the white flag this time by 14-1 kind of evening for him. Insane scores. Jeff Cooper up in here. Seth Carr got around Heilman. Heilman gets him back. Is Seth Carr aware of the point situation here? Because, like, he's got this thing pretty well covered, and it doesn't look like he has much urgency to move forward. I mean, obviously another crash could really hurt him again, I guess, but he seems to be rather comfortable with his position on the track at this point.
Yeah, I think last white flag leader just took the white flag right now, so I think, honestly, you're just thinking stay on 2 wheels. Like, you don't really need Heilman. Like, you came in with the number 1 seed. You then grabbed it after the first round, and then now it's like just stay up. You don't need to go and dominate. But look, he's actually being safe, trying not to pass. I don't think because he wants to make a move. Don't want to open yourself up to having a guy, you know, on the inside or getting stuck or being in a line you're not comfortable with. He's just hitting the brakes and playing it safe.
Playing it safe indeed,
Until
but he's still going to try to get that pass done on Heilman. Heilman reads it, cuts back underneath, and whips in his face, says, I want 3rd place, man. I don't give a crap about what kind of red plates you got on your bike. I'm going to fight tooth and nail for this position, and he certainly is going for it. Let's see if Carr just sends him into the corner here. He thought about it and slides in, but lays it down, and it doesn't work in the end. He's actually, I think, no, he didn't lose the spot. Yeah. He still got the double cleanly. So
Levi Kitchen round 2.
Joey Carter right there. right on his rear fender. Not going to get there. Speaking of not going to get there, nobody's going to get to Cooper Hunt by the end of this race. And Dino going to get the job done on the District Designs number 82 to come back from a 14th in Moto 1 to win Moto 2 here in St. Louis. Cooper Hunt up on top in Moto 2. Jeff Cooper makes it a Cooper 1-2. And we got John Heilman coming across in third. But your winner tonight, Seth Carr, with a 1-4, gets the job done. Almost did some sort of sick backflip, underflip thing. Joey Carter, 5th. Lang, 6th. Wyatt Grant gets back to 7th. A 5-7 night for him. Caden Pankow looks like he'll end up 8th out of the LCQ. Frank Jackson gets all the way back to 9th. And Braden Carter was trying to hold on for 10th, then slid out. Castellaneta goes by, and he's going to get up in 12th because Ash Deering went by. So Carter maybe threw away another position or two right there at the flag. Tough break for him. Jeremy Schiabro, really good first round of the playoffs for him. A little bit lackluster round 2. Caleb Hall down right before the flag, but not going to matter. Seth Shirley way back in 15th place. Alec Horn 16th. Tyler Moore 17th. 18th for Tanner Rogers. Eagland out of the race, as was Blakely, Parker, and O'Brien.
Holy cow. Also, like, good for Wyatt Grant coming back up. These points are going to be super tricky to keep track of here, but man, what a absolutely great ride by Cooper Hunt right there. The Cooper is up front, just dominating. It's funny, Kellen, because I was thinking Seth Carr was just going to, and Seth Carr gets second place on cuts.
Yeah, geez. A long 2 point Jeff Cooper and Heilman.
3 seconds by no.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone had a lot of cuts.
The 82 had 2.3 seconds. Seth Carr had 1.49, and
we will never know.
Cooper Hunt had a lot more. That's crazy. Honestly, it was funny because I was like, Seth Carr is going to play it safe with Heilman. He makes the pass up the inside, gets squared up, crossed over, whipped in the face, and then that's why he was playing it safe, or supposed to be. And then he's like, nah, I'm just going to try to send it in here and punt this dude.
Well, we do have our results, and here they are for you people watching at home. Moto 2 in the books, and we'll get these graphics off your screen so they don't confuse you with any of this stuff. But there is your overall winner, Seth Carr, with a 1-2. Tyler Lane goes 4-5 for second, and 5-7 for third is Wyatt Grant. 10-3 for Jeff Cooper in fourth, 3-10 for Castellaneta in fifth. And Braden Carter does get all the way to 6 with a 2-11. So look how costly that was. If he goes 2-9 instead of 2-11, he would have gotten fourth in this race. And that is a huge blow for him right at the flag. Joey Carter, 8-6 day for 7th. 14-1 for Cooper Hunt gets him 8th. Deering, 6-12 for 9th. And Frank Jackson, P10 with an 11-8 day. So how does this affect the points, you might ask?
Jeff Cooper lost 4 by that last lap, or by those cuts right there as well.
Yep. T-Lang jumps up to P2 in the standings, 20 back of Seth Carr. Braden Carter, 31 back. Frank Jackson, 34 back. So just to understand the math of this a little bit, basically Carr can win the title with any result on the podium next week. If he gets fourth or worse, I believe that is enough to swing the tides if Lang were to get the win based on the triple point format. But on the podium, I think is how that would work, because it'd be
3-2-2.
18 times 3 is 54, 75 points.
21. Yeah, so if he has to get third or better, if Tyler Lang comes out and wins. But the fact is, Tyler Lang had pretty rough rounds, it feels like, and just no consistency on the starts. We haven't seen, if you told me that name was, coming into it, yes, but no one here has been consistent. That's why there's such a big gap. Braden Carter's been back and forth. Lang has been back and forth. Grant's showed things like Seth Carr, kind of the one to beat, Kellen. It's look, you see those points too. 25 coming initially into it, 25 from round 1, 50 points. He's went 1-1-1 with the 1 seed. Everyone else back and forth. So Seth Carr, this is his championship to win or lose, and everyone else just kind of chasing him. That 250 class though, Kellen, is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and just a refresher here at the end for the 250 standings. Cashwood's up 11 on Tharp, but then Vic, Dallaire, and Holt still certainly in it with a shot. Obviously, if Cashwoods finishes off the podium, Jackson Vic, Dylan Dallaire could get up there and make something happen. Tharp has to do the work next week, though, and you never know what could happen when you throw triple points on the table.
They're close enough, too, Jackson Vic and Dallaire. If they win and Braden Tharp gets second, that they're going to be...
Yeah,
Braden Tharp is still gonna. Jackson Vic and Dylan Dallaire are both gonna have the tiebreaker. I guess is it tiebreaker?
Tiebreaker is the last round, I think.
Just second moto for the last round, or just the last round overall?
Last round overall, yeah.
Interesting.
If you win the last round and you tie on points, I think you get it.
This 250 class. Yeah, this 250 class is going to be wild. I have questions to ask you about points later on, too, in real life, because what was on the TV did not feel like the math was mathing.
All right.
That's all I got to say.
Either way, as we jump back in studio with you guys here, Kellen Brower and Andrew Wood, bringing you the action for round 2 of the playoffs. Unbelievable night, and we have a new championship leader in the 250 class. And we have at least some drama to talk about in the 450s going into next week. There's still a lot on the table heading into Las Vegas with the triple point format. And even last year, we saw the guy that never once had the red plate in the playoffs in Luke Sullivan get the job done by winning the finale at Las Vegas and winning the championship. So anything could happen. That's why we roll the dice here in Las Vegas next week.
Yeah, I mean, and you're just looking at off the podium for Seth Carr, though, for Tyler Lang. And what's funny is Tyler Lang's stat is he hasn't finished on the podium in a single moto yet. So he could go 4-4 for first, and there could be a tragic incident that happens, and he can still come out. Tyler Lang still could be in it, even though that championship feels so far gone. So I'm so excited to be here next Wednesday with you guys. Yeah, I did want to say, too, in chat, Jesse Hindi passed away. Tyson Fresquez, best friend out in Utah. He was like the GOAT, Tyson Fresquez, and Hindi was around forever. So anyone who's played this game long enough, RIP. And yeah, hopefully, I know they had like a GoFundMe and stuff like that for him. So just a bummer. Reminded me of that because forgot we were streaming last week and to mention that. But yeah, but back to this, so good racing, man. I love the single, double, triple points. Real life, it feels kind of gimmicky. In sim, it's awesome, and this is like my favorite.
Hey, the whole thing is a gimmick, so why not?
We should just start increasing a points multiplier every single round in the championship.
So the times 17. Times 17.
Yeah,
there you go.
Let's send it.
Crazy. All right, that is round number 2 of the playoffs done and dusted, and can't wait to see you guys all next week for the finale at Las Vegas. Thanks, Andrew Wood, for joining me in the booth every week. Always appreciate it, and we'll see you again next week there as well. Big shout out to MXS Battlegrounds for putting on the series and making it all possible for us to bring you guys the playoffs this year. And thanks to all of you guys at home for watching every week as well. Hope to see you same time, same place next week for the finals from Las Vegas. I'm Kellen Brower, Andrew Woods, signing off for round 2 of the playoffs here at St. Louis, and we'll see you next week. So long for now.